Way 37 in from the Tri-State. Outbound, you're looking at 33 to the Cicero Avenue exit, 48 to the Tri-State, and hour 3 out to 355. Delays on DuSable Lakeshore Drive on the southbound side, especially from Balbo to Soldier Field. Crash just cleared from the lanes. On the tollways, we have a crash affecting your drive on the Jane Addams westbound, heading from 53 before Barrington Road. That crash off on the shoulder, and a crash in the northwest suburbs, and big delays on Route 53 southbound from Dundee Road to Palatine Road in the already busy work zone. Your next report coming up at 4:08, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Rain for the rest of this afternoon. Breezy, sunshine and clouds, a high of 65. Could get another shower tonight, a low of 48. And then sun and clouds tomorrow, a passing shower or two with a high of 56. Cooler the rest of the week. 63 at O'Hare right now, 63 in Waukegan, 62 Lakefront.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, Mayor Johnson reflects on the deadly weekend shooting of a Chicago police officer.
This is Nancy Hardy. We've heard about thieves targeting electronics on freight trains, but a recent burglary involved a budget item.
Former FBI Director James Comey is charged with threatening President Trump's life in a social media post. Latest on that coming up from CBS News and in business.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Wall Street ending lower today. A lot of concerns about AI overspending and no update on the war against Iran. The Dow down by 32, the Nasdaq down 223, the S&P lost 35.
For the rest of this afternoon, sunshine, clouds, no rain, with a high of 65 at 63 degrees at 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted again by the Justice Department. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the charges.
He knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Count 2, same day, May 15th, 2025, that the defendant, James Comey, knowingly and willfully transmitting in interstate commerce communication.
The charges stem from an image Comey briefly shared to Instagram last year that showed seashells arranged in the sand to form the numbers 8647. Comey later said he didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence.
On Capitol Hill,
Mr. Speaker, Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla.
King Charles III addresses a joint session of Congress marking America's 250th anniversary, and
it is my hope, my prayer, that in these turbulent times, working together and with our international partners, we can stem the beating of plowshares into swords.
King Charles and Queen Camilla will continue their 4-day U.S. trip later this week with stops in New York City and Virginia. The FCC plans an early review of Disney's broadcast licenses for the ABC stations it owns. The review is part of the investigation initiated by FCC Chairman Brendan Carr into Disney's diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. More on the probe from CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
What he's saying is that if Disney were to have engaged in discrimination because of their DEI initiatives, that there is an argument to be made that they should not have these licenses, these broadcast licenses.
This move comes after President Trump demanded ABC fire Jimmy Kimmel for a joke he made about Melania Trump days before the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Amid the war with Iran, AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is now $4.18, the highest it has been since April of 2022. This driver in Boston says the prices are affecting his summer vacation plans.
I'm going to have to take less trips and stuff like that because it's getting ridiculous.
A Texas legislative panel is holding more hearings into the devastating flooding that killed 25 campers and 2 teenage counselors at an all-girls Christian camp last July 4th. Investigators say Camp Mystic did not have an evacuation plan. An emotional Camp Mystic director, Edward Eastland, says to the victims' families,
"We tried our hardest that night, and it wasn't enough to save your daughters. We were devastated alongside you."
This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with...
Weird, they did those potholes last night. They didn't do that one, right? It's like, what are they doing? Like, fucking around?
News Radio
I don't get
105.9
right?
WBBM News Radio.
And this big one here, right?
3, Tuesday, the 28th day of April. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have partly sunny skies, dry, 63 degrees. Feels good without a day of rain. It's been a very rainy April. We've got west winds now gusting at 18 miles an hour. We could get a little more rain tonight into tomorrow. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up at 4:15. But first, at 4. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says there's still a whole lot to unpack about the suspect in the deadly shooting of that police officer at the Northwest Side Hospital over the weekend. However,
Really?
He says it's a sign that the criminal justice system is in constant need of reform. The details from WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz.
The first question the mayor fielded during his town hall meeting on Channel 7 was about the record of the suspect in last weekend's death of Officer John Bartholomew.
I'm going to continue to ask that the city of Chicago continue to pray for the Bartholomew family.
And he went on to say details about the suspect's past were still being unpacked. Those details include a missed court date last month and several failed check-ins with his electronic monitor tied to a previous criminal case. He was asked, is the system broken?
I don't think there's a debate around the penal system, the justice system, and its inability to really hold all of the complexity that exists within our society.
He said the time is always right to consider changes to make sure the system treats everyone fairly, but did not name specific changes he felt were needed.
What I'm going to do is focus on the things that I can control,
which he said includes supporting the police department and making sure suspects are held accountable. We're at City Hall.
But he's going to go for Gaza, right?
WBBM.
Only what he can control, right? But Gaza, right?
For one of the largest ever May Day movements later this week.
We have about over 30 cities mobilizing to take a stand, demand dignity, safety, and justice for the immigrant community.
One of those cities is Chicago. And Lawrence Benito, executive director of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, expects a major turnout.
This Friday is an opportunity for all people of conscience, immigrant leaders, allies, and those sharing in the struggle to show up, to say no to authoritarianism, and say yes to freedom to stay, freedom to work, and freedom to thrive.
Benito joined a press conference of leaders from numerous states, calling on people from all walks of life to take part in their local demonstrations. Andy Kang leads the Fair Immigration Reform Movement.
We view the immigrant rights movement and the workers' rights movement as one and the same because they are interdependent.
ICIRR plans to join a march downtown Chicago beginning at noon. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The County Sheriff's Office caught a freight train burglar on the south side recently, but you might be surprised on what he's accused of stealing.
53-year-old Jotton Brown is accused of breaking into a Norfolk Southern train and throwing 20 boxes of Purex liquid laundry detergent off it at the railroad property near 47th and Shields in Fuller Park. That's according to the Sheriff's Office, which says a drone helped officers spot the theft at about 11:20 last Thursday night. They caught Brown after a foot chase and arrested him. The office says he initially refused to identify himself and did not have an ID on him, but eventually came clean. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
26-year-old man will spend decades in prison for a drug-induced homicide. Prosecutors say Eric Babishak sold fake pills laced with fentanyl that led to a fatal overdose last June. He's accused of killing Aman Ahmed after the 24-year-old ingested one of the 15 pills she brought from Babishak. Following the investigation, officers took Fabizak into custody and turned up 72 similar pills that tested positive for fentanyl. He was sentenced to 27 years in state prison after he pled guilty to the charges. Well, if you're starting to hear any buzz around Illinois' new state B, you can
What are you gonna do, man? There's an ambulance there, man. What's wrong with you? The guy in back of me beeping his horn, and there's an ambulance right there. What's wrong? Are you crazy?
She's one of the Lincoln Junior High.
There's an ambulance right there, bro. You're in a hospital zone. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you, man? Fuck, man. Go. Come on, go.
Liza and other 8th graders
Shit.
the 10 Bs
It's a fucking ambulance right there, man.
Across the state voted to name the black and gold bumblebee as the state bee. Then Liza
That guy in the Porsche. Right there from Indiana. A Porsche with Indiana plates beeping in front of an ambulance. You get out of the way.
The experience is the best teacher.
Sorry about that.
You have to be the first-hand witness of each step of the process and what takes place and how involved it is.
Liza says she hopes the experience shows others all of the things young girls can do.
Just because we're young doesn't mean we're incapable. Just because we're girls doesn't mean we're incapable of making such an important law. It was just so amazing to see that I could do this and that I can do anytime I want.
Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
4:08. time to check in on the roads, traffic and weather together.
What are we going to do today? What do you guys think?
53 is really
I don't know
heavy. We
yet.
have ongoing construction on either side, and we had a crash southbound at Palatine Road. That is now gone, but delays really heavy from Rand Road. In the southwest suburbs, you have backups on
watch
I-80
them
on
smash
both
that
sides.
door open there,
Westbound
right?
past 30 to Larkin, past Ridge to Brisbane with roadwork once again today. Eastbound traffic on I-80 between Larkin and Richards, and 8094 northwest Indiana with some backups too. Westbound from 65 to Kennedy, and eastbound between Klein Avenue and Burr. A couple of issues on the toll.
Why don't we go a different way? Right? You always going to.
Barrington Road.
In life, that's what I learned. We're difficult to change, but change is what we need to do. Why? Because change keeps us moving. It keeps your brain moving, keeps your muscles moving. That's what happens when you get older. We don't move as much, so our muscles and our bones get a little more rigid, right? Same thing with our brains. If we don't switch what we do and we do the same thing every day, all we think of the same way, right? That's it. So I'm taking a different route today. Maybe we go see something else. I don't know what we're going to do, right?
Feeder to the Windrush Miro, New North Avenue off on your left side.
We'll see.
And then a backup from Irving to the
I have an
east.
idea. We'll do a little route here, right?
Hour 18
Just
to
do a little
998
fun
in
stuff.
Downtown, an hour 12 out. The Dan Ryan 37 outbound, 20 minutes inbound, 57 going out 18. Close to 30 on the outbound forward. A lot of traffic through the work zone. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 418 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
For the rest of today, plenty of sunshine with a high of 65, maybe a shower tonight, a low of 48, a little cooler. The cooling trend moves through the weekend. Temperatures only in the mid-50s through at least Saturday and Sunday. 63 now at O'Hare, 62 Lakefront Markets in the red. It's 410.
Hi, I'm Jack Arnold from Arnold Electric.
Hope everybody's having a great afternoon. It's 4:10 p.m. It is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. This is SubX.News Live. This is our regular afternoon broadcast. We travel around Chicago. We usually start somewhere in downtown like we're doing now. We're in Streeterville right now, by the way. We go around, we listen to some radio calls. We listen to scanner feeds, radio calls. We chase crime. We talk about things that we see. Right now, we're going to go do I'm going to go somewhere, maybe we see something different, right? And I'm changing my route a little bit. Not that much. And I don't know, and I don't know where we're going to end up. There's always people that ask, what are you doing today, John? And I'm like, I don't know. Have no idea what I'm doing. All I know is the beginning, how it starts, right? I try to start at the same time, 4 o'clock. I start with a little bit of news. That way we know about where we're at in the realm of things, right? Is there storms coming? Are we in the middle of a war? Is there a lot of crime happening? What's our politicians saying? As we heard earlier, Brandon Johnson didn't even address the crime issue. He didn't even say it was what was happening to him was wrong. Why? Because he wants the criminals out there. He's a pro-criminal mayor. Why he uses crime? Brandon Johnson's a domestic terrorist. I always say this. Not all terrorists carry guns. Not all, and people say, oh, you're always hyperbolizing, John. You're always hyperbolizing, John. Like, no. Brandon Johnson's a domestic terrorist. He's a trained, groomed domestic terrorist. That's who he is. That's no doubt about it. There's videos of him and Bill Ayers, the guy who runs Brandon Johnson's Jackson Potter. Jackson Potter is direct lineage to Bill Ayers. They're direct, almost blood there, right? Jackson Potter is the vice president of the teachers union. Me and him helped take over the teachers union years ago. He recruited me because I was a crime guy. I was a violence guy. I was anti-violence, anti-crime. So 20 years ago, they recruited me saying, look, there's a lot of crime in the city. We need a guy like you to fight it. And they gave me the platform, so I went for it. And I helped them take over the teachers union, right? I wasn't the only one, but I was part of that equation. So the reason I say all of this is this. When you hear the mayor talk like he just did about a murdered cop that was murdered by a known career criminal who somehow premeditatedly had a gun in a hospital When he was right uncuffed, he shot 2 cops, killed 1, and he was released multiple times. And the mayor says, our mayor, right? He's our mayor. He's in our town. You can't say he's not. Says, well, I don't know. I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's not. We need to do this or that. It shows directly what? He's pro-criminal. Why? When you have crime, you can hire NGOs. You can raise taxes. You can what? Hide. When there's crime, you can hide, right? You know what I mean by hide. If there's chaos, then what? People look at the chaos. They don't look at the progress, right? Like this. Look, here. Look at that up there. What's wrong? It's rusty. That's rusty. So we have a lot of young kids out there carjacking and robbing people, right? Why aren't we giving them the job to paint those? Give them a scraper brush, right? Right? Give them a scraper and let them scrape that by hand and paint it, right? Who cares? Let them be here for a year or 2. Who cares? Scrape it, paint it, make it nice. You don't see that, but you'll see a crony contractor bid $50 billion and he'll get the job, and in a year it'll be rusty again, right? Why? Because the contractor will take the $50 billion and then he'll put a bunch into election campaigns, or nowadays they don't do it directly, they do money laundering through NGOs. So the contractor now sometimes doesn't give the money directly to politicians, he'll give it to an NGO, or as they say, a cause, right? And then that cause is what? Does political organizing, right? That's how that works, right? That's the new style, right? NGOs are the money laundering operations now in our society. Right? Nick Shirley's showing some of that, but Nick Shirley's only at part of it, right? And if you've seen his latest video, Nick Shirley said what? He's afraid of the Russian mob because they threatened him, right? Because he was going after some trucking stuff or something. I don't know what he was doing, right? So he said, I'm going to stop because they call my grandma and threaten my grandma or something like that. I guess, yeah, he cares about his grandma or whatever it is, and he doesn't want her to get hurt. That's noble, right? But the point is this. Even if you get to the Russian mob guys that are doing the trucking scandals, right? Even that has nothing to do with our political system. A mob guy running a trucking outfit has nothing to do with politics. You can say, yeah, it does. That's how they keep doing it, because they have these crooked politicians. Yeah, that's money. It's a fixed thing. Money is a fixed entity. You got $1 billion, $1 trillion, or 50 quintuple dollars. It doesn't matter. It matters who's what? Running the things. Who's running the politics, right? And if the politicians are pro-crime, then they're going to allow the mob guy to run trucking things. If they're honest, hard-working people who believe in America or believe in Germany or believe in Japan or whatever country they're from, they believe in the people, the working people, people who work every day, then they stop the crime or they mitigate the crime, right? There's always going to be crime in every society. Every society has it, okay? Everyone. Crime, it can never be solved. It can be managed. Put people to jail. What did I just say about young kids? Why aren't they scraping that bridge, scraping the rust off of it, right? They could be doing that. The Conservation Corps, right? In World War, in the Depression, World War II, right? They were doing things. Look, you can say, oh, that's just keeping people busy. Well, if you're keeping them busy, they ain't doing crime. They get up in the morning, come to work all day, give them some lunch. They get home 5, 6 o'clock. They have to shower up, eat dinner. Guess what? They're going to watch a little TV and go to sleep. They ain't going to be running around doing some nonsense on the street. See, that's what we're not doing. This Brandon Johnson money he just gave out the other day, $900,000. That ain't no money for to do stuff. That's fake money. First of all, how are you paying teenagers to be crime interrupters? You're putting them in danger's way. We just had a cop murdered, what, Saturday morning, the 25th, right? He got murdered on Saturday, didn't he? I think that was Saturday, right? So think about this. Think about how destructive of a mayor we have. We just had a cop murdered. Another one in critical condition. I hope he gets out of it. And you have a mayor that just gave $1 million to a youth organization that organized attacks on cops to take down the Columbus statue. That is a fact. Good Kids Mad City organized that. They were part of that, to attack police officers. Now they just got $1 million to do crime intervention. When we just had a cop murdered Saturday. So you're giving teenagers who are violent, they're violent, those kids are violent. They're not nice kids, they're violent. They're part of the teachers union. They're trained to be violent. To say, now you're going to interrupt violence. And the main organizer of Good Kids Mad City is from Hyde Park Career Academy, where a fellow student with a gun in the school shot another student at the bus stop at dismissal. That's one of the lead guys they just had on TV. Talking, a spokesperson, right? For that organization. Yet, the student who is known who's the shooter, the murderer, has not been arrested yet. So that's their violence interruption. That's what you heard from Brandon Johnson. He says, oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he was guilty. Maybe he had a gun. Maybe he shot a cop. We should pray for the other cop. If you're a leader, you say that guy should be, I'm going to switch this to a federal prosecution. And I want the death sentence for that guy to show an example. He didn't say that. He didn't even say the guy should be locked up for the rest of his life. He didn't say anything for punishment of the shooter, did he? Did he say anything as a punishment for the shooter? Brandon Johnson. He didn't. You heard it here on the radio. We're going to listen to the 4:30 news real quick, right? Look at this. There I go. That's what I do. We're doing a little different traffic here, right? There we go, right? Oh, man, there's a walkway there. You guys ain't going in the walkway. There you go. No stopping, no standing. There we go. How do you like that? Is that a nice view, guys? Remember we're here, the last time we were here, we couldn't see downtown from the fog. Remember it was that fog? What was that, 2 weeks ago or something like that? So that's the kind of my thinking here, right? We're not going to get fixed. Why? Because Brandon Johnson don't fix nothing. He has no interest to fix the city. You see these potholes here? This is a main what? Tourist attraction. This should be spick and span. You see potholes everywhere here. It should be spick and span. You see those potholes there? Should be spick and span. Should be spotless. Should have brand new signs, shiny signs. Everything should be perfect here. It's not. Why? Because the man don't care. If you say something and put a video on, he'll come and fill the pothole. He'll come clean the garbage can. He does that all the time. He's reactionary. That's what it's called. Reactionary. And everybody has, reactionary has two different meanings. One, reactionary is he reacts to news and bad news. Secondly, a reactionary is one who's backwards in time. He wants to live in the 1950s, right? That's reactionary, right? That's going backwards in time. And that's who he is. He's not a forward thinker. Look at his videos. Look at his pictures. Look what he does. You never see him with his family. You never see him eating dinner. You never see him doing any normal activities that a normal person does in the city. Why? Because he's not a normal person from the city. He's not a worker. He's never had a job in his life. He's never worked in any job in his lifetime. He's gotten paid to do work like teaching, like politics. That's it. He did some work at the teachers union, but not working physically with his hand. He never had a blue-collar job ever in his life. His dad was a carpenter and a priest, I guess, or a preacher. So the reason I'm saying all of this is we are responsible for that because we didn't elect someone else. I didn't vote for Brandon Johnson. I voted for Jamal Green the first round, and the second round I voted for Paul Vallis, even though I don't like Paul Vallis. I really don't like Paul Vallis. I really don't. But Brandon Johnson I knew would be more dangerous than Paul Vallis. Paul Vallis would do a little more conservative, towing the party line. But Brandon Johnson's a neoliberal killer. He kills people. He's one of those types that creates crime and chaos that harms people, as we see, right? You've seen it yesterday. We're going to go now into the city and see all the drug dealing. So think about it. We have a downtown that's getting ready for summer, right? Summer tourism. And you've seen what? A guy without fingers yesterday with his bones showing. I had a bunch of comments that I erased and banned. They said, oh, it's your fault. People were actually saying it was my fault the guy was out there on the street with his fingers messed up. I said, huh? They were saying it's my fault that I was harming him. Right? I got comments like that, yes. Those are people who are paid by Brandon Johnson. Why? They deflect and they blame instead of them. The only person to blame for that guy without the fingers is what? The city. Because no one's picked them up off the street. Not me. Right? You kind of get where I'm going with this? The city is responsible for every citizen. He was in a hospital. The hospital released him. So the nurses and the doctors in the hospital released him. What did he say? I need SSI. The government failed him. We can argue this, oh, the government, they, and this and this, and society did it, John. Oh, that's the old argument, John. You can't say that. But in the case of that guy without the fingers, that's the truth. And the last, the most important part of it, he was doing drugs laying on a sidewalk. In the middle of rush hour, in the middle of downtown, and no one did nothing about it. We did it. We put it on video. I'm a reporter. I'm not a social worker. I don't do this for social work. If I'm doing something else, I'll help the homeless if I'm not doing reporting, right? But when I turn on the camera and I do this job, I'm a reporter. I'm not a social worker. I can be an activist. I'm an activist reporter. I like changing things, right? There you go. There's another bridge. Look at how many kids you can get to a job. You give them all what? Wire brush. Don't give them no damn machine. You give every kid a wire brush. Every criminal kid, gang banging, carjacking, scooter riding shooter, right? You put them here. You said you got two choices. You get 10 years in prison, or you clean that bridge with a brush. He goes, where's the machine? You say, you're the machine. You give him one brush, one wire brush. And you say, you wire brush that. The next guy behind him, you give him a can of primer, metal primer, right? Or a galvanizer. And the last guy, you paint. And you tell him, you do this bridge, and you go all the way as far as the bridge goes. Oh, it's 2-3 miles long. Well, that's what you're going to do. Each one of those by hand. They should do all these bridges. Every gang-banging carjacker should be up here scraping that bridge with a wire brush. Right there. Give them a can of paint. I did the exact same speech down by 12th and State Street by the train tracks, the CTA. It's all rusty down there. It's all crappy looking, right? Say, give a kid a wire brush, give him a paint can, and tell him, there you go. Give him some lunch, and you tell the, hey there, if they got a spa or whatever the hell this stuff is here, it's some restaurant, you tell that restaurant, you give those kids the food. That's what you tell them. When you give them the food, you give us the receipt, we write it off as your tax, and we give you the food from the city, or we give you some tax credit or something like that. That's what you do. That's public-private partnerships. And that's also what? Correcting bad behavior. That's also building what? Civic pride. That's also what? Reforming a criminal, right? Teaching him that he is part of a city and that he shouldn't destroy the city, that he should do what? Fix the city. Right? That's what we should be doing. There's none of that. Look at all these potholes here. Look at all these potholes. I just showed you those potholes at 4 o'clock. They do one and they drive away. They do the next one, drive away. When there's a whole bunch of potholes right there. We can go back. I'll show you them. There's deep ones up there. Maybe I'll do that cycle here. How about that? We did that earlier today. The point I'm trying to make is this. When you have a bum who's a leech, which is our mayor, Brandon Johnson, who's influenced by domestic terrorists, which is Jackson Potter and Bill Ayers and Carol Cariff, then what you have is what you have here. You have a 28-year-old that was murdered on Laverne and what? Ferdinand. There's a 28-year-old man. His nickname was Buck. Did you get that? He's a young man. He might be into gangs. He might not. He might be a good guy, bad guy. Don't matter. But he was hanging out on the street corner and he was murdered. Was he good or bad? I don't know. That's for somebody else. That's for God to judge if he was good or bad. But he was on the street corner and gunned down. And he's dead now. 28-year-old black man on what? Laverne and Ferdinand was gunned down last night. while the sergeant was yelling at me saying, oh, you can't videotape me. I'm like, what? You're on the street. And then she goes, bring the tape and expand the scene. So what an abuse of power that is. You kind of get where I'm going with this? That's what Brandon Johnson. That sergeant was Brandon Johnson. DEI scum. You know what DEI scum is? When you allow a 28-year-old young black man to be dead, and then you tell the media that they can't videotape on public streets. And then you use your power to expand, what? The crime scene because you don't want to be videotaped. That's abuse of power. It's the definition of abuse of power. It's not using the power to solve the crime of the 20-year-old young man who passed away last night. It isn't being transparent. And I'll leave it with this because we got the 4:30 news on. What did J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson say when ICE came in? No masks and use your cameras. Didn't they say that? Think about this. When ICE came into Chicago and in the Illinois area, the first thing Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker said, no masks and videotape them. Videotape all our actions. So then when you videotape a crime scene on a public street in the city of Chicago where a young black man was murdered, the sergeant says, I don't want you taping this. That's the first thing out of her mouth. So that tells you exactly what kind of a city we're living in. We're living in a left-wing, fascist, pro-criminal terrorist city that takes away all the rights of the law-abiding, hard-working people, including the migrants. We documented that for years. We're going to listen to the news at 4:30, okay? We might listen to some radio calls. That's my little commentary there. We're living in a very dangerous city right now because we have dangerous people in the power and we have a lot of dangerous people that are underneath Brandon Johnson. Let's listen to the news.
Here are the top stories on News Radio, WBBM. King Charles highlights the U.S.-UK bond in a speech to Congress, noting that we're in times of great uncertainty. The Justice Department indicts former FBI Director James Comey for the second time.
This is Andy Dane with new details about the man charged with fatally shooting a Chicago police officer at Swedish hospital.
And U.S. gas prices hit their highest level in 4 years. In business,
Wall Street ends lower today. A lot of worries about overspending on AI. The Dow down 32 points, but the tech-heavy NASDAQ down 223. The S&P lower by 35. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
63 degrees, partly sunny skies. The news continues at 4:31. The royal couple received a warm welcome and continues to in Washington, D.C. today. Correspondent Jennifer King has the details of their state visit to the U.S.
President Trump and the First Lady welcomed King Charles III and Queen Camilla at the White House, noting the gray weather that had guests huddling under umbrellas.
What a beautiful British day this is.
With humor and history, he highlighted the bond between the United Kingdom and the United States at a challenging moment for international relations.
Here on a wild and untamed continent, they set loose the ancient English love of liberty and the Great Britain's distinctive sense of glory, destiny, and pride, and that's what it is.
The president's relationship with Prime Minister Keir Starmer has taken a turn for the worse in recent months as Trump tries to rally support for the Iran war, threatens more tariffs, taunts Canada and Greenland, and challenges the transatlantic alliance. But given Trump's fondness for the royal family, there's been less of his usual bluster that marks his meetings with international leaders.
My mother had a crush on Charles. Can you believe it?
Jennifer King, Washington.
In other news nationally, the Justice Department has indicted former FBI Director James Comey for the second time. Today's indictment is related to a social media photo of a couple of years ago of seashells arranged on a beach to form the numbers 8647 in the restaurant industry. 86 often means to get rid of something, while President Trump is the 47th president. Some officials say
they're doing drugs right by that dumpster right there, right?
CBS's Jake Rosell.
He's the drug dealer, that guy. They're doing drugs. There's 2-3 people sitting behind a garbage can.
Discussed the post after President Trump called attention to it and said that Comey should be put under investigation.
Last September, the department indicted Comey on charges of lying to Congress, but a judge later threw out the case. Here at home, a court appearance today for the man charged with shooting and killing a Chicago police officer and critically wounding another on Saturday. And it's shedding new light on his extensive criminal history.
A day after he was ordered to remain in custody for the killing of Officer John Bartholomew, 26-year-old Alfonso Talley returned to a Cook County courtroom, this time regarding a warrant for his arrest issued March 11th. Prosecutors say Talley repeatedly violated terms of his electronic monitoring in a case involving aggravated battery to a police officer and possession of a stolen vehicle. Dating back to 2017, Talley had been arrested numerous times with offenses ranging from armed robbery and carjacking to possession of a weapon by a felon. Some, including State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke, argue Talley should have never been placed on electronic monitoring. He's accused of fatally shooting Bartholomew and wounding a second officer Saturday at Swedish Hospital, where he was being treated after allegedly robbing an Albany Park dollar store and swallowing several bags of drugs. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Former business partners Elon Musk and Sam Altman have reunited in a California courtroom. Opening statements began today in a lawsuit surrounding OpenAI, the startup that Musk and Altman co-founded.
Not only is Musk asking for billions in damages, but he's also asking for OpenAI CEO Sam Altman to be removed. Elon Musk is alleging that Sam Altman tricked him and that OpenAI strayed from its core mission, which was to develop AI for the benefit of humanity.
That's CBS's Victoria Marcius. Both men are expected to testify in a trial that could reshape the future of AI. Well, more than half of Americans say the cost of living is getting worse. That's according to a new poll.
The survey finds that not only do 55% say their finances are getting worse, but the cost of inflation, energy, healthcare, and housing far exceed other monetary worries. This woman says she's done all the right things.
I worked and we can't buy a home.
31% say the high cost of living is their most important financial problem, which is among the highest in Gallup's more than 20-year trend. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Well, on that note, gas prices in the U.S. hit their highest level in 4 years as negotiations over the war in Iran appear to slow down and show little signs of a resolution. AAA now says the price of an average gallon of gas stands at $4.17, and that marks an increase of $1.19 since the war began. That amounts to a 28% jump in just about 2 months. We'll have the latest gas prices in our area coming up at 38 past the hour, just in a couple of minutes here. Also, we're going to check in on the roads and your weather next.
Chicagoland homeowners, epoxy is out, poly is in. At Torque Coatings, we install advanced polyaspartic floors that are 4 times stronger than epoxy.
So it's now coming out that man should never have been out on loose, right? That shot that cop and killed him, right? He never should have been walking the street. It's clear. Yet the mayor says, oh, I don't know. We need justice, equity, blah, 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 right? I don't know about that, man. Man kills a cop that's under your... Think about this. At the minimum. Think about this. I'll tell you this. And then we'll listen to the rest of the news. The union, which you came from, which is our union, and I was an organizer and a field rep for the CTU. We have one saying: an injury to one is an injury to all. A police officer is his employee. He won't even protect his own employees. He won't say he killed a city employee and he needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent. Brandon won't even say that. So it shows you what kind of a person he is. You kind of get where I'm trying to go with that?
Paid for by American Leadership PAC. Now, the lowest gas prices from News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by PackyWebFord.com and the PackyWeb Ford True Price Pledge.
It smells weed
it's
out
your assurance
here.
that the low
Fucking
price you
weed.
see online
Every one of these
and
cars
in-store
has
is
weed
the
in
low
it.
price you'll pay with no hidden fees. Thanks to our listeners for the following gas prices relatively low in Naperville. The Marathon on Ogden and 5th has gas for $4.15 a gallon. In Mundelein, the Thorntons on Maple and
All right, what did I say? We're going to listen to some radio
low
calls,
gas
right?
price, not a lot these days, even under $4. Please give us a call at 312-409-4277. 4:38 now. Traffic sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Sewer, and Electric. Here's Neil.
Eisenhower, a lot of delays going outbound, especially on the west end from Biesterfield to past Higgins Road, where we have a crash blocking lane of traffic. 48 if you're going to Manheim, an hour 18 to the Jane Addams Tollway. Vapors delay inbound before Higgins, an hour 15 from I-90 into downtown. 44 to drive in from Manheim. Metro West to remind you next time to avoid these nasty delays. Pick up a train, the Milwaukee District West line available out of Schaumburg. On the Stevenson, brake lights coming in from Lamont Road to past LaGrange Road. Crash cleanup there in a lane. 55 in for the vet.
96. 08678. 383. Unit coming in. 5383 George. 830 guy. Get in the vent number for 35th Road Line Station. Sure, take event number 08689. 08689. 73880. 8380. I got 2 units. I only called 1 unit, so I don't know why I got 3 units coming in. 73, 83, Eddie. 47 in red line, please. Alright, give me 1 second. Who wanted to repeat on the event number? Is that George? Adam. Okay. 73, 83, Adam. Your repeat is 08678. 08678. 73, 83, Eddie. Your event number is 08698. 08698.
7391 Charlie.
I got 91 Charlie.
7391 Charlie. And the event number for Enos at Green Line and Roosevelt
is 08706. I got another Charlie in it.
7383 Charlie. For 69 Red Line.
Take event number 08707. 08707.
7386 Adam.
86 Adam.
The number for Roosevelt as well, please.
Take event 08711. 08711.
If you're just tuning in, this is SubX.News on the spot reporting. We're live in downtown Chicago. We're going into the Loop. This is the heart of downtown. It is 4:39 p.m. You are listening to Citywide One radio calls. It's green, man. It's green. Slow down. It's downtown Chicago. It is 4:40 p.m. It is Tuesday. It is not remote Monday. And again, what do I always say? Look at the remote parking. The parking spaces are all empty, right? See that there?
I'm sorry, I can't copy your location. Where?
Look at all the surface parking empty. SubX.News, 4:40 p.m. We're going eastbound on Lake Street right now from Wells. Look at all the surface parking empty. It is 4:40 p.m. It is a Tuesday. It's a beautiful day. It's 71 degrees on my car, it says. It's April 28, 2026. It is the height of rush hour. It's 4:40 p.m. What do you see? No cars and no people. No cars, no people. They're working on that building. Google bought that building, the Thompson Center. But still, it shows you clearly there's a problem in our city. Look, you don't need to be a fancy mathematician. You don't need to be a fancy real estate guy or a PhD demographer or anything to see what's going on in front of you. One, you don't see foot traffic. There's no foot traffic. Secondly, the main thing in a downtown setting, any major downtown area is what? You look at surface parking. I'm going to show you right here, right? See that? Surface parking there? It's empty, right? Surface parking is empty. There's 2 spots right here, right next to me. Think about that. In a downtown. And now we have a heightened crime in downtown. So you'd have more people driving, right? Trying to be safe. I'll show you another spot. Didn't that guy say, that guy we were talking to yesterday, Harold, didn't he say he was going to be by this McDonald's? Let's check. I had never seen him over here. There you go. Look at all the surface parking here. This is all metered parking here. Look at that. See this? This is all metered parking. See that there? There's no cars here. There's 0 cars. We're right in the middle of downtown. You don't see anybody. Why there's a few people walking there? That ain't nothing. As my saying says, that's not enough to fill a bus. Look at all the empty parking spaces right in front of us. Oh, well, yeah, it's rush hour, man. What do you expect? They're all going home. No, they're not. There ain't nobody here. What about people coming to downtown in the evening to have a show, to have dinner, to enjoy our city? You know what? They're not coming here, right? The white drug addict. That's a white drug addict you just seen. He's going into that McDonald's. That's a white drug addict. That guy with the beard. That's a white drug addict. So there you go. Right? Well, that's why you have people selling drugs and drug addicts down there in crime, right? There's a guy right there. See that guy? He's waiting for drugs or something. See that there? Right there? That guy there? There you go. See that there? Look at it. All the empty. See all these empty parking spaces? Look at this. I'm zigzagging all around downtown. Look at this. See that there? It's 4:43 p.m. in the middle of a third largest city, supposedly, of the United States of America. Chicago, right? This is not... We're not in Topeka. We're not in Topeka right now, man. No, we're not. We're not in Westchester, New York, which is kind of busy. Right, oh, there we go. Let's see if they're doing any drugs over here. Maybe they moved back down to Garvey here, right? Yeah, they're doing some selling here. You know, this is one of the problems. Open air drug markets, right? Right there. Open air drug dealing. That's what you got. There you go. Maybe that's the reason downtown's empty, huh? Because people don't want to be part of the crime, right? Maybe that's the reason. What do you guys think? It could be. There you go, right? Those guys are doing drugs. They're there, man. They're doing drugs right there. Those are drug users. That's why downtown's empty, because there's drugs and drug users and drug dealers downtown, which creates crime. That's why. That's why downtown's empty. You got that? Period. There's no other reason, because there's crime happening. Drug dealing is a crime. Period. Let's say hello to Tom, right? What's up, Tom?
Hey, man.
What you doing, man? It's getting hot out here, man. Make sure you drink some water, all right?
Hey, I need a bottle of water.
I ain't got one with me there. If I get one, I'll drop it off. Watch for that other guy. I seen another guy yesterday. His fingers were all gone. You ever know him? Harold?
You know what? These niggas hate them.
Oh, is he? Be safe, all right? I'll talk to you later, Tom. Drug dealing, that's what you got down here. Drug dealing and drug use. That's why downtown's empty. That's enough of my talking. Let's listen to some radio calls. What do you guys say, all right? Where were we at? Does anybody remember? Right here, maybe.
Unison 86 Charlie. 86 Charlie. We got one for parking wagon.
You got people
09314.
zigzagging through traffic.
09314. 093.
You got zigzaggers through traffic with Wisconsin plates. See that there?
83 George.
And he's trying to be an Uber driver, right?
West Roosevelt.
That's why.
Take it back 09327. 09327.
Unison 19 Cityway, hold up alarm at Byline Bank, 3639 North Broadway, lobby desk 4, nothing further, zone 2.
There you go, right? Bank robbery, right? That's what you heard. That's a bank robbery.
73. 7383. 7383.
7388, boy. 88, boy. Blue Land Medical District. Have a number, please. Is there
Drugs, crime, and gangs. That's why downtown Chicago's empty. .45 p.m. Tuesday, April 28th, 2026.
4983. Can I get a VIN number for UAS Adam Sam Tom from 1108 South Spalding, please?
Take a VIN number 09364.
Alright, thank you.
There you go. So there you go. You got, look at this. You got two guys sitting right in front of the 7-Eleven. Right? You can't enter the 7-Eleven without going through those guys. See that there? Look at that. There you go. See that there? See that there? You can't enter the store. See that there? You can't enter the store. That's 7-Eleven. We're at Wabash and, what is this? Wacker.
.3944.
94 what?
Green light, check it, Roseville, please.
093.
SubX.News.
3326.
3326.
Call myself and 25 down at Stack Scan. Can we get the event number?
Sure, take a VIN 08336. 08336.
Now, look. See that? There's two guys sitting right next to the store entrance. You can't enter the store or exit. Right? There you go. There's another guy right there. Look at that. What's that guy doing there? He's all jacked up. Look at him. See that guy right there? He's on drugs, man. He's all jacked up. Look at him. Did you see that there? They're selling dope at this spot, right? You want to sit here for a second? There's a third guy now. Now you got to go through three people. It's rush hour. Now you got to go through three people to get into a store. See that there? There you go, man. What do you think? There you go. Rush hour, downtown Chicago. You see that there? There, you're watching it right there. I ain't making this up. There you go. That dude's on drugs, that guy. What do you think? He's on drugs or what? We were just down there. The Herald was right down the street there. What do you think? You think that guy's on drugs right there? He's walking around rush hour, right? See that there? What do you think? There you go. Somebody just came up to her, right? They're looking for stuff. Look at that. What do you guys think is going on here? You tell me. What do you think you're watching? What do you think you're watching here? You think what are you... We're not on the west side. We're not on the south side. We're not out by Howard. We're right in downtown Chicago. This is, there you go, man. Pretty wild, ain't it? Did you think it was this bad or not? Look at that. What do you think they're all doing, all four of those people? Right? What do you think they're all doing? What do you think they're doing? So, do you think that they're homeless guys panhandling for some money? Or do you think they're drug addicts or drug dealers or in-between runners? What do you think all those people are? Look at that. Did you see how fast that happened there? Now this guy is sitting right here. This guy is right here, man. That guy's right there. See that there? He's just walking around all jacked up, that guy. You're watching this live. You see that? You see what I'm seeing, right? What did I show you yesterday, right? Think this is normal activity? You think this is normal? Think this is normal behavior, right? This is not normal behavior for a downtown. Then you got those guys by the front door there. You see that? And then they go into the 7-Eleven, right? Doing their whatever bullshit they're doing, right? You're watching it right here live. That dude's jacked up, man. Life in a big city, eh? Drug addict. Look at that. There's 2 of them on each side of the door there, man. That's some wild stuff there, eh? You have to pass 2 people to get into the store, huh? How do you like that one, huh? Let's get to some radio calls, right? Where are we at? We're at 4:50, so we'll go back to about 4:30 maybe. People are going home from work. See that?
7395 Charlie.
Maybe some of these downtown workers want a little hit of fentanyl or trank. I don't know. Who knows, right?
Female weight.
Is it separate from the guy who was in the conference?
Sorry, one more time.
Drugs, overdoses.
88, boy. Blue Line Medical District. Have a number, please. 09056. 09056.
394 Charlie.
94 Charlie.
94 Charlie, can I have an event number for Sir Migrant?
09056. 09056.
383 George.
83 George.
Get an event number for 37 Red Line, please.
09063. 09063.
7383 Charlie.
83.
They're trespassing because they're sitting on the building's property. That's trespassing. They're not panhandling, or they're not expressing their free speech right on public land. The building is private. They should be trespassed from there. They should be trespassed.
Sorry, one more time.
7395 is order for ambulance for a guy who was semi-conscious on the platform. This is a female now. This is the second patient.
Yeah, second patient.
Okay, tough one. I'll let him know. Their event number is 0907 7388.
Overdoses. Listen up.
83.
We got the event number at the 69 Red Line.
It's 09065. 09065.
7395 Charlie.
95 Charlie.
Can we get EMS to the Irvin Park Blue Line for an overdose? Female weight.
Is it separate from the guy who was semi-conscious?
Sorry.
Blue Line, Irving Park. 2 people overdose, male and female.
7367. 7367.
For Roosevelt, please.
That's for Roosevelt Red Line. Go ahead and take 09480. 09480.
You just heard that. 2 overdoses, right? Listen up.
7383 Charlie.
83.
We got the event number at the 69 Red Line.
It's 09065. 09065.
7395 Charlie.
95 Charlie.
Can we get EMS to the Irvin Park Blue Line for an overdose? Female weight.
Is it separate from the guy who was semi-conscious?
Sorry, one more time.
7395 is order for ambulance for a guy who was semi-conscious on the platform. This is a female now. This is the second patient.
Yeah, second patient.
Okay, tough one. I'll let him know. Their event number is 09076. All units come out for a second.
Here's a foreign citywide burglary in progress, 8027 South Houston. Someone just broke into the caller's home. She sees the landlord through her camera. The landlord is with the boyfriend. They kicked in the door. She has an order of protection. The landlord, he's not supposed to be there. That's further. Zone 8.
7383 Henry.
7383 Henry.
You got a VIN number for a premise check at a 63rd Ashland Green Line?
Sure, text 09097. 09097.
7395 David.
95.
Can you show us at Blue Line Irving with one in custody, please?
I text 09103. 09103. That's not related to either one of those two ambulances, right?
7333.
7330.
Can I get a number for the red line 35th for the White Sox team, please?
091 21 09121.
7397 Charlie.
They're not loitering, they're trespassing. They're on someone's property. They're not loitering, they're trespassing because they're sitting on someone's property. That's trespassing. Loitering is standing on the sidewalk. They're sitting on someone's property. What they're sitting on is private property. That's trespassing. Right there. When they're sitting on the property, that's trespassing. Because they're on someone's property, not doing what the property's used for, whether it's a store or a business. They're trespassing. Got that? Alright. I know what loitering law means. And you might be wrong on that too, on the loitering law too. There's certain things that are illegal. If you're engaged in criminal behavior.
97 Charlie. 09146 09146.
They're not loitering. Got that? These are not loiterers. They're trespassing on somebody's private property. That's what they're doing.
09148
And they're interfering with the business of that store there. It's a private business.
Battery and private anonymous says two guys are fighting at 8700 West Summerdale. One's got a blue hoodie, one's got a black shirt, and the brothers on clear.
That's not a public place. That doorway is not a public place. It's a private business. But if the guy calls, nothing's going to happen. If he complains, they're going to shoot him. That's what happened to the 7-Eleven worker on Wells, right? Wells and Adams, they shot that guy, right? Guys like him shot him. Remember the Oak Lawn guy shot him? He's a drug dealer. A drug dealer from Oak Lawn shot a worker, a Hispanic worker at Adams and Wells. That's what happens, right?
9179 91 Charlie. 91 Charlie. PH1 go.
PH3 citywide, we are up.
That's one.
9395.
95.
Can you show me taking in 1 to 17 for David?
Okay.
7394 Charlie.
94 Charlie.
7394 Charlie, can I have a number for Roosevelt Green?
09212 09212. 913 is a night there citywide. Get a couple of calls on the battery in progress 30 Halstead. Detail to follow. Call us an ex-girlfriend attacked her. Female black unknown description. Caller not responding. Instead of females being her attacking the caller. Zone 13 to 9 station clear.
Houston 1 and citywide robbery just occurred at Wabash and Madison and Wabash. Group of 5 offenders robbed a teenager at Nice Point for a green hoodie. 5 offenders, male black, 15 to 19 years old, wearing masks, black hoodies. They're standing outside Zara Diamond.
That's right here.
Nothing further so far. Come for it.
7395.
All Armed robbery. 5 offenders robbed a person of his hoodie. Madison and Wabash. Used a knife.
Told us that hand waiver 236 North State or South State. You got any calls for a phone or something?
It's right here, right? It's right in front of us, right? Madison and Wabash is right here.
They have a battery call over there. A male was hit in the back by a security guard in front of the Bank of America.
And you got a car coming?
It doesn't look like they haven't been anyone yet. I'll let you know if they do that.
739 Charlie.
94 Charlie.
739 Charlie. Can I have the number for Roosevelt?
In a freight train on Chicago's south side. The sheriff's office says the drone from Norfolk Southern Railroad Police alerted them last Thursday someone was tossing boxes from a freight train. It was about 11:20 at night on the railroad property near 47th and Shields in Fuller Park. The sheriff's office says officers chased the man after he ran down the tracks, arrested him, and found 20 boxes of Purex liquid laundry detergent. The office says 53-year-old Jawton Brown was charged with felony burglary and trespassing. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM. Well, regardless of your opinions of artificial intelligence, the tool continues to transform society. And now Indiana Governor Mike Braun is launching a new initiative that uses AI to help businesses grow.
The idea is to have the leaders of corporations, foundations, and universities who are part of an organization called the CEOs of Indiana Corporate Partnership work with businesses to accelerate AI adoption. Governor Mike Braun.
Anything new, you got to not necessarily embrace it without question, but if you avoid it, you might regret it down the road.
An executive with a furniture manufacturer, Chet Harder, says his company worked with grad students at IU to use AI to dramatically cut down on paperwork.
And it frees people up to work on a lot more important things, things that really move the needle.
The governor said he doesn't know where this initiative will lead. Of course, some predict AI will be responsible for job losses. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A new Illinois bill aims to help anyone who's been duped by ghost tickets on third-party sites for concerts, sports, and other events.
Speculative ticketing, or ghost ticketing, is when a third-party seller lists tickets that they do not have. This means audience members buy tickets that they think are valid but find out are fake at the show. The new bill aims to ban this practice. The legislation would require sellers to have tickets in hand before selling them. It would also set up a complaint system for customers through the state attorney general's office. The bill passed through the Illinois House and is now in the hands of the Senate. Carolina Garebe, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And a panel of judges appointed by the Wisconsin Supreme Court has dismissed a lawsuit that looked to overturn the state's congressional district maps. Liberal groups that filed the suit argued that the maps were drawn in favor of Republicans. However, the 3-judge panel ruled that courts do not have the authority to determine whether a congressional map gives an unfair advantage to one political party or the other. Earlier this year, another panel dismissed a similar lawsuit challenging those maps. It's 5:08. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8th. Watching the roads tonight, Neil Fiorito.
All right, the trouble spot on the tollways along the J.
There you go. Here. So they say they're going to make a new law against ghost ticketing. Well, we have a law. It's called fraud and theft. If you sell something you don't have and you take somebody's money from them and then you don't give it to them and you don't have it, then that's called fraud. You're defrauding somebody. And when you take their money from them, then that's called theft or robbery, right? So it's weird how these politicians invent new things that are already covered by our existing. Why? It's cause to confuse, right? Oh, it's AI. Oh, it's tickets. Oh, it's the concerts. And we've had concerts for going back to medieval times. There's always been concerts. The guy rips you off, you do a fraud, right? So they're passing all these laws that are like pro-criminal. They're deflecting from the existing laws. They're that lazy, right? The state's attorney, the Attorney General of Illinois, the prosecutor's office, the judges, even the cops, right? They know there's a law already, right? That says you can't sell something that you don't have. It's called fraud. All right, there you go. We're blocked now, right? Yeah, we're blocked there, man. We're gonna go around the block here because they said somebody got robbed around here, right? Madison, right back there, right? Somebody got robbed on that block, right? That's where they got their thing robbed. And all he smells weed around here, right? It's all decrepit. Let's see if I can. Oh no, I can't get through there. Let's see. There we go, right? Let's see if I can get through there, right? Nope. It's all blocked back there, right? So we're gonna go this way. We're fooling around a little bit. We're doing a little different little route. Let's do some more radio calls, right? We'll go back, well, we were at 5:09, so why don't we go back to about 1:45, right? See what's been happening, right? While we were listening to the news.
A first ever combination of the largest...
Zero 9274, 09274.
7383 boy.
733 boy.
Can I get another check 79 red line?
This is 09276, 09276.
Can you say that again, please?
09276.
7368 Charlie.
I got 2 units. 86 David.
7386 David, can I get the number for Chicago red line?
This is 09296, 09296. Another unit coming in.
Boy.
87.
77 Park Blue Line.
Take event 090.
86 Charlie.
86 Charlie.
We got one for Park and White.
Take event 09314, 09314.
383 George.
Take event 09327. 09327.
Unit to 19 Cityway, hold up alarm at byline. Thanks. 3639 North Broadway, lobby desk 4, nothing further, zone 2.
For the units of 24 in the Citywide, getting a battery in progress. 1763 West Howard. Caller says a male black, green zip-up jacket, had blue jeans on. He was choking a female black with a black jacket on. Across the street from the Jewel. I got nothing further. Phone 383 Adam.
733 Adam.
And then 95 red line.
Take event 09357, 09357.
49 Davis 3.
49 Davis 3.
Hey, Slug, can I get a VIN number for UAS? Adam Sam Tom from 1108 South Spalding, please.
Take event number 09364.
Alright, thank you. 733 George.
733 George.
Get on the VIN number for 35 Road Line, please.
This is event 09370.
3944.
94 boy.
Green light, check it, Roseville, please.
09387, 09387.
3326.
3326.
Call myself and 25 down at Stack Scheme. Can we get the event number?
Sure, take event 08336, 08336.
87 boy.
87 boy.
Event number for Marshall Boulevard.
Okay, where on the boulevard? Roosevelt? No, you didn't say Roosevelt. Where?
Boulevard, Marshall.
Marshall. Take it at 09396. 09396.
Close.
Unison 7 on the citywide, getting a ticket of shots fired, 6100 South Sangamon for 7 rounds. The offenders are 3 male blacks wearing black clothing. They're still on scene by Nicholson Academy. Nothing further, zone 6 clear.
Shots fired by Nicholson Academy.
7383 Eddie.
Eddie's ready to go.
Event number 47 red line.
09464, 09464.
Shots fired at Nicholson Academy. Offender still on scene, down by 61st Street.
734 Frank.
7383 Frank. Can we get a event number for a bus ride? 79th Street westbound.
79th Street westbound bus 74. Go ahead and take event number 09474, 09474. 7367.
For Roosevelt, please.
74, Roosevelt Red Line. Go ahead and take 09480, 09480.
7368.
86 David.
Let me get one for Chicago Red Line.
74, go ahead and take 09503, 09503.
7388 boy.
88 boy.
Blue Line and a Hollister. Can I get a van number for a trip mission?
Blue Line Hollister trip mission 74, 09507, 09507.
6 boy.
Cowboy. The end of that. Who is that?
7386 boy. Can I get a red line check? Jackson State over.
86 boy. Take 09511. 09511.
See all the stores that are empty, right?
Good Unison 4, citywide person with a gun coming in, originally started as a burglary in progress, 8027 South Houston. Apartment 18027 South Houston. Miss Braden's calling, watching home camera, sees unknown male, black wearing mask, black coat for her, and yelling black shoes, breaking into her home with a gun. She's on her way to location, nothing further on 8 District
87 in Houston, she sees somebody in her place or by her place. Trying to break in, burglary. That's what you said, heard. 87th in Houston, somebody's trying to break into her apartment. That's what you just heard.
10-4. It's going to be 09533, 09533.
10-4, thank you.
7391 Charlie.
7391 Charlie.
Van number Jackson Red.
09538.
1111 citywide, we're getting assault in progress, 4523 West Washington Boulevard. Male black, wearing black gray jacket and light man, struck the collar with a chain earlier today. Caller 50 is currently in the alley. Caller began arguing with them. No further information.
West Side, threatening somebody with a chain. That was a little earlier today. That call just came in at 503. Threatening somebody with a chain. Old school.
You need calls for a call or something?
They have a battery call over there. A male was hit in the back by security guard in front of the Bank of America.
Is there a car coming?
It doesn't look like there's been anyone.
So imagine, this is what Ray Lopez said today on that video I posted. The criminal who goes into a bank, messes with a security guard or the employees or the staff, tells them to get out of there, and guess what? The criminal calls on the security guard saying what? I got hit by him. You got that? And guess who's going to get arrested? The security guard. That's where we're at in our society. Ray Lopez, look at his video, what he said. It's on our page. Look at what he said. We are a pro-criminal city. It means the administration, the legislative, and the judicial branches all favor criminals. Why? Because they're cleaning out the city. They want us all gone because they're going to resell the city now. We're in a rebirth time, right? We're like at the end of the Chicago fire, right? We're a little bit still the smoldering yet. You know, the Chicago fire, we were rebuilt. Everybody knows that, right? If it wasn't for the Chicago fire, we wouldn't be who we are here in the city. So now what are they doing? They're wiping out the city again with what? Crime and drugs. And what? 20 years from now, I probably won't be alive. But you young people that are around, you're going to see this city's going to be different. It's going to be a lot different. And it's going to be something that you never can imagine. And it's going to be great. You'll see. But they first have to clean it out a little bit. That's what they're doing now. It's called gentrification.
Car 7042.
Houston 4 and Citywide, get back to progress, 1742 Southeast and 1742 Southeast and Bianchi is calling. States no male hit and bid her. Caller not giving any additional description, just failing for police. Nothing further on the addition for police.
Can we get that event number for that trip machine gun?
Yeah, 09617.
1383 George.
83 George.
Get an event number for 35th Street Red Line.
10-4, 09662.
2386 David.
86 David.
Yes, ma'am. Can I get Ron, Ohio, and Sinclair?
Now you see this guy's out here, right? There's a guy that lives right there, right?
7383 Charlie.
83 Charlie.
What's up, brother? They find you a place yet? I've been talking to everybody. They ain't doing shit about it, man. They ain't doing shit, man. I'm just checking in on people, you know what I mean? See you later, my brother.
That number Grant on the right.
It's all messed up over here. It's all messed up. See that there?
Thank you.
What was that? 737F.
I got numbers for Harlem Blue Line, thank you.
Harlem, 10-4. Engineer 09747.
I'm gonna take a walk, alright? I'm gonna show you guys some.
7 straight red.
47 red license.
We're gonna take a little walk, a little tour, okay?
758.
7351.
7351.
Yeah, done for Howard, the red line.
10-4, it's gonna be 53 10-4, 09764.
7383 Charlie.
733 Charlie.
There's a 69 red line.
69 red, 09773.
I'll take you around here, how this place looks, right? Oh, ready to take a little walk? I'll show you guys around here, right? SubX.News. I told you we're doing things differently, right? And I got all my phones on me. All right, let's go. That's all you hear downtown is of the overdoses. There's tons of overdoses here. And now they're going over here for something. See that there? Going right to that spot. Let's see what that's about, right? Ambulance 42, right? Oh. It might be going down into the train system. See that there? Got an ambulance right there, right? So we got an ambulance over here, right? Who knows what that's about? We'll throw it on Citizen app. We'll see what's going on, right? Maybe Citizen app will know, right? That's why I use Citizen app. There we go. So we got an ambulance here. Probably an overdose. We got ambulance 42 here at Van Buren State. A bunch of dudes across the street doing their thing. I don't see where the ambulance people went, right? They pulled up here. We don't see them hauling anybody away, right? They have a lot of stuff that happens down there, right? There's guys across the street. You see that there? A bunch of people across the street. Alright, let's go around here. So one of the things I always document is that building right there. First of all, that's Harold Washington Library, right? It's the main library in our city. This is Robert Morris University. It's an abandoned building. Okay? You got that stuff going on there, right? I don't see them hauling nobody in, do you? No, alright, let's keep moving. It's an overdose. I can look it up, right? So let me show you what's going on here. I'm going to shut off Citizen app, right? Or since. Stop. There we go, right? So again, we're downtown. What is it? I don't know, a little before 5 or a little after 5. Let me check the time. This is Robert Morris University, right? It used to be. It's abandoned now. It's 5:28 right now. It's an abandoned building. First thing you notice is a little bit of people, but not that many, right? This is a huge building. See that there? I'll show you why I do this. Seen all the homeless people I showed you already today? You think all the... Well, it's about 5:30 now, so... It's 5:30 p.m. We're about... And this is a landmark here. See that there? At the abandoned Robert Morris University. It's been like this for a bunch of years. But what I keep talking about this building is this. We've been showing a lot of homelessness and drug addicted down here in downtown Chicago. And you got rip-offs and schemers like NGOs, con artists, city employees, county employees, state employees, drug dealers, Facebook influencers, TikTokers, and other known assholes. Some of them are watching right now. They want to know what I'm doing, right? Well, you got a building like this that's abandoned, right? It was a university. And you got a city that's having a crime and drug problem and a homeless problem. You would think that the city would use its resources and its power to take over this building. And if they took over this building, they could probably house all the drug addicts, criminals, and homeless people that are in downtown right in this building. You could probably hold a good couple of thousand people or more. But they don't. That's actually what happens here. See that there? That's what happens. Instead of utilizing this building, people are sleeping on the sidewalks here, right? That's how it is here. Right. See that there? Yeah. This is downtown Chicago. You got that? That's State Street right there. There's Ida B. Wells. Used to be Congress. See that there? See that? And that's an abandoned building right there. It's abandoned. They got billionaires. Look at those signs there. Billionaire stuff. Are they helping these people? How much did all those signs cost to put up? Could probably put one of these people up. And it smells like urine here. And feces, right? There you go. SubX.News. There you go. See that there? This is downtown. And that's an alley there. Let me show you where we're at. Show you. That's the 290, right? That's the Eisenhower right there. This road leads to the highway. See that there? Again, this is an abandoned building. You for sure can house these people in there, right? But the city refuses, right? There you go. Look at that. The city don't even clean up the mess. See that there? Yeah, all right. So that's what you got. Alright. Want me to show you where I'm at? This is where I'm at. This is State Street. This is an abandoned building. See that there? That's where we're at. Brandon Johnson helping those people? I don't think so. when is the city going to help these people? They've been watching this place for a few years and getting no help. That's what's going to happen. No help. 5:30 p.m. April 28th, 2026. These people were attacked by migrants over here. I gotta just take this picture of this box over here, right? And that's the main street here. I know a few of these guys that live in there, right? So again, the idea of this video is this. And I'll sit down here and I'll show you this. That's our main library there. First of all, that closes. They can house homeless in there if they wanted to, in the basements, and there's places in there. And clean it out every day. But this building has been abandoned for years now. And instead they let them be on the sidewalk there. There's no one in this building. There's water, there's electric, there's gas. But yet the city refuses to put homeless people in here. They refuse to put drug addicts in here. They refuse to put the gangbangers in here. They refuse to. Right? And they go, this is what the city does. It locks the subways. This is a subway system. It's locked. Right? There's the library. You see how beautiful our city is? It's locked. Why? Because the city refuses to use our resources to help our citizens. A block from here at the Standard Club, the migrants got off the bus and they got into a hotel. And they got food. They got EBD cards. They got everything instantly right there at the Standard Club. It's right over there, block from here. But yet American citizens, mostly black, mostly African Americans, can't be in this building that's abandoned. The city refuses to. Right? Then you see this degradation. See the sidewalk there? Look at that. Where's the pothole world cats? Or what are they? Wolf pack? Where's the wolf pack at? Where's the wolf pack at? Look at that shit. Look at that crap. You can give those people a job. Let them fill these cracks up. Look at that. That's the city's responsibility there. So you got closed down subways, closed down universities, and African Americans sleeping on the sidewalk while they can be given jobs. Let them fix the sidewalk and give them a place in there. You don't have to give them the whole building, give them a half a building. Why not? Because the city wants those blacks out. The city wants the Mexicans out. This city wants the working class out. This city wants everybody out that don't comply with their neoliberal policies, with their terroristic brain. You see that there? See this here? Look, it's empty. I told you SubX.News is going to do different stuff. See that? How many people can sleep in here? How many people can you sleep in there? All of those guys for sure. There's a washroom in here. I used to go to this building. Used to be ComEd right there. This ComEd and the water department was downstairs. See that? It's all empty. Yet American citizens don't get to be in there. I'll see what this guy's. I'm not gonna videotape this guy. He doesn't like being on tape. See that? See that there? Look at that. See that? That's an abandoned building. They're not allowed in there, but they're allowed to sleep here. You see what's happening? That's the city administration. They what? Make people sleep outside of an abandoned building. I'll show you. I'll walk over there. Yet the migrants are sleeping over there for free, and they got money. Americans sleep here. Got that? Got that? There you go. What's up, brother? I'm just filming this end. You hungry tonight, maybe? I'll see if I stop by or something. I might maybe drop you off at McDonald's or something, you know, the bag. What do you like, Coke or Pepsi? Pepsi is better? No ice. Yeah, I remember you told me that. No ice before, right? And pizza without meat, right? If I get a pizza slice, I don't know if I'll get a pizza slice or I'll get a hamburger tonight, all right? I don't know if I will or not. You know me, I go all around, right? You know what I always say? I'm talking to somebody. I won't put you on camera. You know what I always say is, you know I've been saying this for years to you. You could be sleeping in there. I mean, I'm talking to a guy right now that's sitting here. He's known me for years now. Driving by in my junky Jeep, right? He ain't gonna wreck that building there. There's nothing to wreck in there. That's a building. And I always tell him the migrants got the hotel over there, right? Remember that? Alrighty. Alright, we're gonna get out of here. We're not gonna bother this guy. You be safe, my brother, okay? Cheeseburger? Maybe I'll get a bunch of White Castles and hand them out. That's what I do sometimes, get the box. It's like 10 or 20 bucks, I think. It's like 20 or 20 bucks. I'm videotaping that way. It's like 10 or 20 bucks. That way I can give you. Remember, I think I gave you some the last time, right? Cheese, though, you like, right? All right. I don't know if I'll stop by, but if I do, I'll give you some. All right. Take it easy. I'll try. I don't know. I'm going around. I was at a murder scene last night. They killed a 28-year-old guy on the west side. It was bad. So I don't know where I'll end up. So John, okay? What's your name again? Gene? Gene John, all right? Cheeseburgers, right? There you go. Not that. That guy's been there at least 5-6 years. Again, there, it's empty. One piece of glass. One glass. You should be in there. You can have a shower in there. You can be clean. You can use a washroom, right? They don't. And then we got our main library right there, right? Drop them off right there. They got room. They got board. They got showers. They got medical care. They got food. And they got cash. Right there. That was owned by a guy that got convicted of not paying taxes. Actually, he owned that building. He owns that building. So I was saying that the Standard Club is over there, right? That's my little exercise for today, huh? Here's somebody's money, right? Is that real money or is that fake money? What do you guys think? Did we just find a dollar bill? We got a penny down there too. Let's see. Oh man, we got rich today. Look at that. Look what happens when you walk around. $1 and 1 penny. There you go, look at that. Is that cool or what? There you go, SubX.News, we're rich. Let's go spend this crap. That's gang stuff, ain't it? That's gang stuff, right? I shouldn't put this in my car. I don't want to be considered a gangbanger. There you go. We found that out on the street. There you go. How about that? Let's go get some cheeseburgers. What do you guys think? I go to the White Castles down the street. Get some cheeseburgers. How about that? What do you guys think? What do you think, huh? Let's go get some cheeseburgers. We got $1. God gave us $1 and a penny. He said, don't be cheap and don't be stingy. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go get some cheeseburgers for that young man right there, right? Where the original first White Castles was in Chicago. You guys know that one, right? I showed you that, right? I was just commenting, how do you lose connection in a downtown? How does that happen? Weird, isn't it? That you lose connection, huh? So we just lost some connection. We just finished our Robert Morris University tour. There's some cop pulling people over, but we'll go get some hamburgers. Right? With half cheeseburgers, have hamburgers. They all wear those headphones, man. It's a beautiful city. If you haven't been to Chicago downtown in a long time or never, you should come. Watch yourself. It's a little dangerous. But just like going to the woods where there's wolverines and tigers and leopards and all of that. If you go to the woods, you can be eaten by a leopard, right? I don't know. If you go out to the suburbs, you got cougar moms, right? You kind of get what I'm trying to say. Thinking that some place is safer than another, it warps someone's brain. So what we got to do is when we see something, we talk about it, right? And don't be afraid of it, because the first thing to fixing something is admitting something might be wrong. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is making a list or figuring out what's wrong. What are the things that are wrong? We know what's clearly wrong in our city today, right? What's wrong in our city today? The mayor, the administration. They like crime. They like drugs. They like all that crap. They want that. Why? Because it creates chaos. And when there's chaos, they can spend money without what? Accountability. Right? And if they're not accountable, then there's no consequences.
David 120-797-6314.
And if there's no consequences, there can be no deterrence. Those are the three: accountability, consequences, and deterrence. So if someone was accountable for that guy, right? That, oh, there you go, you got another overdose right there. See that there? Another overdose. There you go. He's on his phone laughing. You see him laughing there? He's on his phone. Look at that. See that there?
It is 1007.
There you go. He's on his phone while he's going into the ambulance, right? That's an overdose place, right? Right here. They do overdoses over here, right? Again, accountability. The guy who shot the cop and killed him, there was accountability. Somebody arrested him, somebody prosecuted him, he had a public defender, he had a judge. So there was a lot of people that were accountable, right? Was there consequences? Yeah, they put him on electronic monitoring. They put him on parole. They put him on all these things. A couple of them let him go, right? They said, hey, he's not that dangerous. We'll let him free, right? And that's the last part. There's no deterrence. So the first two parts are there, but the last one isn't. And here's the next part of it. Now, who's going to be accountable? Who's going to be feeling the consequences? And what kind of deterrence are we going to do so this don't happen again to another cop or another citizen? If you look at Ray Lopez's video, it's really good. It's really good. Look at it, what he said. It was excellent. It was excellent. Everyone's a target in our city. There's no one who's safe. If they're killing cops without consequences, without deterrence, there is no one safe. There was how many cops killed in our city already? What, 4 or 5 in the last few years? Ella French, right? I forget the 2 guys by my mom's house. 2 Hispanic cops were killed by my mom's house, right? One was a Colombian immigrant. One cop that was killed was a Colombian immigrant. Imagine that. He immigrated to Chicago with his family to be safe from the drug cartels of Colombia. Yet he got killed on the streets of Chicago while being a cop, right? Imagine that. Imagine that. You leave a bad country, right? Of drug cartels, assassinations, killings, and murders. And you come to Chicago and you get killed as a cop. And you did everything right to be a cop. You lived your life a good life, right? You didn't get in trouble. You went to college. You stayed off of drugs. You stayed out of gangs. And you still get killed, right? You got killed by some punk kid that was robbing people with a gun. Sounds familiar? Does that sound familiar? A punk kid robbing people with a gun? A punk kid robbing people with a gun. Killed a cop. It's familiar, right? Same story as just this happened, right? Same story. Same story. You know who started this? Lori Lightfoot. Lori Lightfoot started this, right? She didn't start the anti-cop defund movement in Chicago, but she legislated it. Why? Because she was anti-cop. Because her brother was shot and killed by a cop, I believe. I don't know if he died or not. Her brother was chased by cops and they shot him. So she's a social justice person. She was anti-cop, even though she was a prosecutor, even though she prosecuted criminals. But she was anti-cop. She was anti-police force. She was a force. Under her, a lot of these policies went in. Then Brandon Johnson came in and he did more strict policies and put in DEI hires. Right, that's why you have the lady yesterday who told me I can't film on a public street. She's a DEI hire. She doesn't understand the law. She's put into place by Brandon Johnson and Snelling to say, look, you're in power and don't ever let nobody tell you anything else. You serve us. You don't serve the public. You understand? That's what's happening in our city. That's why I said this earlier, right? That was a very important thing for me to say. The Chicago police don't serve the public. They serve the politicians, which is illegal. They should be serving us. And I said this once to somebody, and he said, oh, blah, 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 blah. They don't do da-da-da-da. But he was kind of a weird guy, and he was kind of convoluted in his thinking, right? We're going to get a box of sliders, right? I don't think I'll get a soda, right? So that's what we got to fight. And unelecting Brandon Johnson is not going to change it. You know, what's funny is if you look at that Ray Lopez video that's on my page right now, he says it. I helped elect these people. Like I helped Brandon Johnson. I helped the union take power. That was my fault. And Ray Lopez said the same thing. This is the Democratic machine. They elect these judges. You can't be a judge without going through the machine. I told you about Deidre Bauman, right? She can't get elected because she doesn't go along with the machine. She sues the machine. She sues the city. They don't like her. She's got a mark on her name. Never let her get elected. Deidre Bauman. I don't know if she's a judge or not. I don't know if she won her last election or not. She might have won the last time. She ran 4 or 5 times, and I think maybe she won or not. Look up Deidre Bauman. I don't know if she got elected or not. I mean, if I misspeak, you gotta check my facts. You know, I'm talking as I'm driving. I don't remember everything as I'm driving, right? I can't check all my facts. But if you don't go along with the program, what happens? You don't get elected. And if you don't get elected, you don't get an easy job. That's the point I'm trying to say here, right? These are all closed businesses. There's nothing open down here, right? It even gets worse. This is nice. They're trying to revive this whole area down here, and then they have a few killings down here. It kind of died down again, right? Let's go get some cheeseburgers, right? There's a guy sitting in front of the store again, right? We'll get 10 and 10. How about that? Let's see what we can get here.
Welcome, my car. Do you use your loyalty number today?
No. I just need, you got like a special for 20 hamburgers? Can I get 10 cheeseburgers and 10 regular? What's the deal on those?
You talking about the 10 packs for $8.99?
No, I'm talking about a 20 pack. I need 20, 10 and 10. How much is?
10 packs for $8.99.
Oh, how much is it?
It's a 10 pack for $8.99.
Oh, you don't have a 20 pack there, right? Do you see the 20 pack?
20, you can get 2 of them, but it's $8.99 for 10. That's what you
Oh, okay. I see what you're telling me. I should shut my mouth and listen to you. Give me that what you said. One burger and 1 cheese, okay?
Would that complete your order? You want fries or a drink?
No. You know what? Why don't you give me 1 small Coke, no ice? How about that? Since you saved me money, all right? I appreciate you, my brother. Pull up?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, right? But he said the 20 pack is more money, so he told me. Yeah, you're like, what did Nick say? Yeah, Nick. I gotta feed some people, right? What's up, my brother? Oh, man. How's the family doing, Nick, okay? Oh, you changed your profile picture to socks. Are they gonna do good this year or not? Maybe I need to go to a Sox game this year. Did you see this dollar bill? Is this gangs or what? This is gangs, right? I found this on the ground. That's gangs or what is that? That's a gang bill, right? Isn't it? I think that's gangs, right? Yeah, if I see him, I'll give him some food. There's a bunch of them downtown. That was some messed up stuff yesterday, wasn't it? Oh, he wanted a Pepsi? Oh, man, I forgot. I don't think they have Pepsi products here. What's up, my brother? Oh, I'm okay, man. Doing my thing. I'm getting a little food, feed some of these guys. I seen Tom out there. I'm going to give him a couple of burgers. I think this guy's name is Josh over here. That was gang graffiti? Okay, whatever. It is what it is. It's a gang town, right? I'll put this to the side and make sure I don't get killed. Thinking I'm a... that, right? I don't know why I got in this kick. I shouldn't have did this. I should save my money. I'm broke, man. I know I got a $1,000 bill for my damn drive shaft from over the weekend. Paid $450 for the tow, and now that the drive shaft, you heard me talking with my mechanic yesterday, it's gonna be $500. And that ain't even a new drive shaft. That's a used drive shaft. Whatever. Like my wife says, money is like water. It goes where it's needed, and if you try to catch it, it flows through your hands. Did you hear that? That's my wife's saying. If you steal this saying, my wife's gonna be mad. What? Money is like water. When you try to catch it, it goes through your hands. It's got front and back on that bill there. You want to see? Here's the back side. That's the back. See the back there? Sex. I don't know. My guy looks a little crazy there. It's a little obsessed, right? So that's the back of the bill. That's the front of the bill. I just found that. That with a penny. That's when I decided I'm gonna go. That's when I decided I'm gonna go to White Castles, because I talked to Josh. He said, "No." I said, "I don't know if I'll be back because I don't know what's gonna happen." And I said, "You know what?" And I'm walking to my car. Everybody's seen it. I don't know if it might have cut off. The video might have cut off at that time. So I get to my car, and before I get to it, I see that in the gutter in the water. And then I said, "You know what? If God can give me $1 and a penny," because I found a penny too. If God says, "Here's $1 and a penny," that means he says I should help somebody today. I should help people every day, which I tried to, but you know, you can't because it's money, right? I try to help people through my videos. That's what I try to do. So when I found the dollar and the penny, I said, you know what? What am I supposed to view? Here. You don't need to view nothing, man. Turn the channel if you're bored. I don't know, man. People forget the old school TVs. You change the channel if you don't like what you're viewing, right? I'm getting some hamburgers right now. I don't know whether it's so slow, and I'm gonna go feed some people right now. That's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. That's what you're viewing. You're viewing SubX.News, driving in downtown Chicago. What's up, my brothers? I mind a Coke with no water, with no ice. All right. You know what? Do me a favor, my brother. I'm going to give some of this out to people that are on the street. Give me some extra bags, okay? And I'll give you my card to pay for it, all right? I'm live feeding, by the way. SubX.News. I do downtown all the time. Do stuff and all of that. Nice young man. Yeah, that'd be good, right? Well, I'm gonna hand most of these out, so. I got Tom, I got Josh, I got 20 coming. I'm gonna probably eat 4 or 5, so that leaves 15 to give out. I might eat 4, right? Did it go through? Alright, still got money there. Alright, that's good to see that.
You keep cutting out, I'm sorry. In 7, of course. It's 102.53 left.
So, why don't we listen to the news a little bit? How about that? Let's see what's going on the news.
Milestone or surprising someone you love, jewelry is the type of gift they'll treasure forever. At Rasny Jewelers, you get personal attention, real expertise, and a family that's cared for generations of Chicago clients. They'll treat you like a member of the family. You'll find classic to on-trend styles in every size, shape, and price point, all hand-picked by the Rasny family. What I love about Rasny is every time you go into one of their locations or go...
So the big thing today, if you listen to the news and they'll say about Brandon Johnson, he refuses to say the guy that killed the cop should be punished. He refused to say that today.
Piece of jewelry within your budget. Check it out for yourself at one of their Chicago area locations.
They'll probably put it on, so listen up to the news.
Hinsdale and Chicago Oak Street. And always online. Rasny.com. Rasny.com.
Biggest names in this year's college football transfer portal is going to be sidelined.
Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has taken an indefinite leave of absence to enter a treatment program for a gambling addiction. CBS Sports college football analyst Shahan Jayaraja.
This is a big deal, not just for Texas Tech, but also for Brendan Sorsby. This is a player who is projected as the #2 transfer quarterback in the country.
ESPN, citing unidentified sources, reported that the quarterback allegedly made thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via a gambling app. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Mexico's Jalisco New Generation cartel suffers a blow after the Mexican military captures one of its top leaders hiding in a roadside ditch. Audios Flores Silva, known as the Gardener, was seen as a possible successor to the leader killed 2 months ago. The U.S. had a $5 million reward out for information leading to his arrest. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 1059 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
The time now is 6:05 on Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. Good evening. I'm Glenn Marshall, and currently we're sitting under 63 degrees and mostly sunny skies here in Chicago. It's going to be turning out mostly cloudy. A shower or two from late evening on low. Will be 48 degrees. That's what our temperature will be tonight. But tomorrow it'll be cooler with clouds, some intervals of sun, and a passing shower or two. We'll see a high of 56 degrees with a low of 41. Of course, we're going to take a look at that AccuWeather 5-day forecast at 6:15. But right now, our top local story on News Radio WBBM. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says he's continuing to pray for the family of a police officer killed in a shooting at a Northwest Side hospital. And now he's talking about how the suspect in that shooting was out of custody. This story's coming from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles.
Our system is in constant need of reform.
The mayor told an audience during a town hall meeting on Channel 7 that many details about the suspect in last weekend's shooting at Swedish Hospital that killed Officer John Bartholomew are still being unpacked, including why he was not in custody, even though he missed a court hearing in a previous case and violated terms of his electronic monitor numerous times.
It's always right for us to be open to how we can ensure that the system is working justly for all.
The mayor said he's focusing on what he can control, which includes making sure suspects are held accountable and that police officers are supported.
Officer Bartholomew, like all of our police officers and our first responders, they show up every single day and they interrupt harm.
And he asked Chicago to continue to pray for Officer Bartholomew's family. We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 1059, WBBM.
And with May Day drawing near, organizers in Illinois and elsewhere are expecting record-breaking turnouts.
Among those sharing May Day plans and encouraging nationwide participation, Lawrence Benito, Executive Director of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights.
Here in Illinois, we have seen the horrors of ICE and CBP violence on our streets. As detention centers expand and ICE continues to adopt new tactics, we are all part of the growing movement that says ICE out of our communities.
Organizers also say joining a march or simply resisting shopping on Friday helps in the fight for workers' rights.
So think about this. They tell you not to shop. So what happens when the business fails? Who harms? Who is harmed? The workers. It never harms the business owner.
Not just marginal to society, but essential to sustain it, and very much a part of our community and a beloved part of our community.
Benito and others also stress staying peaceful and positive will be key on Friday. Andy Dane, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
And the time now is 6:08. Traffic and weather
again.
On the 8th.
Look, I'm a political guy. If I'm going to do a May Day event, what am I going to do? Am I going to shut down a store where my fellow brothers and sisters are working? I'm going to go to the governor's office. I'm going to go to the mayor's office, the president's office. I'm going to go to that rich guy, Ken Griffin, or whoever else is a billionaire, and say, you make too much, give us some of your blah, 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 right? That's what I would do, May Day, right? Workers. What did these terrorists say? What did the domestic terrorists of the Chicago Teachers Union say? We're going to shut down businesses where people work. We're going to shut down businesses that create the economy that makes our city collect tax revenues. And then when we do the tax revenues, what? We can pay for what? Homeless care, drug addiction, police intervention, crime intervention, after-school programs, maternity training, immigrant training, migrant support. Think about that. Think about who these terrorists are. They say we're going to shut down a business that employs working people. You're never going to hurt a business owner when you shut down the business. Why? He'll just shut it down. It doesn't matter to him. Actually, in the small terms, business owners between 1 month to 6 months save money on businesses, and they can write it off as losses. A little longer, then it goes into the minus. But the first 6 months of a strike don't hurt the business owner. It hurts who? It hurts the workers. After that, the worker adjusts, and then the businesses start getting messed up, right? But that's all I got to say here, right? So when the May 1st rally people say we're going to shut down businesses, that means they're anti-worker. They're anti-revenue. They're anti-social justice. They're anti-helping their fellow people on the street. They're anti that. That's what it says, right?
Buildings issued a statement that says it took enforcement action against the 35th Street studios over continued non-compliance and dangerous, hazardous working conditions threatening public safety and health. It says the business will not be allowed to reopen until violations are corrected. Some well-known artists have recorded at the studio in business
all of them
more
in
than
it.
25
Can you give me extra
years.
bags and
It
napkins?
also trains recording engineers. We've reached out to management for comment. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And an argument over dinner turned deadly in Wisconsin.
27-year-old Michaela Cloth has admitted to stabbing her boyfriend during an argument over the chicken he brought over to her apartment for dinner. Police say the Waukesha County woman admitted she was mad at him. Prosecutors say Cloth told the cops she wanted to go out for dinner.
Thank you,
and
my
when
brother.
he showed up with drumsticks, he, quote, started pushing her buttons. And, quote, if they had to lock her up, that was cool. Cloth is being held on $2 million bond. Cisco Cotto, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Dozens of lawmakers and advocates gathered in Washington, D.C. this morning to push for legislation that would raise the federal minimum wage.
Living wage.
Since 2009, the minimum wage in the United States has been stuck at $7.25.
That is not a living wage. That is a wage to keep you poor and barely keep you living.
Illinois Representative Delia Ramirez says that's why she and newly sworn in Ana Lilia Mejia of New Jersey are introducing the Living Wage for All Act.
The bill would raise the federal minimum wage to $25 per hour for every single worker, every single industry. No excuses, no peros, no exceptions.
The legislation is part of a nationwide campaign to address the cost of living crisis and aims to set a minimum wage that supporters say meets the true cost of living. Representative Mejia.
What people will say is, y'all are asking for too much. But I say no. We have the ability to create the campaign from here, working with organizers across the country to make this bill a reality.
Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at that AccuWeather 5-day forecast. The time now is 6:12.
With combat operations and
The minimum wage was never meant to be a living wage. Those are two separate conceptualizations. Do you think you should pay somebody $25 an hour who just did that? Do you think White Castles can afford to pay 10 employees $25 an hour and still sell that box of burgers for $8.99? Absolutely not. The people you just heard on the radio are raising your wages. And when they raise your wages, what do? They raise the cost of goods. What legislators should do is do the opposite. Reduce the cost of doing business. Whatever happened to universal health care? That was supposed to lower costs. Man, what are these dudes doing here, man? What are they doing? Oh, there's a cop stuff happening in front of us, right? It's police activity up here, right? That's what you got, police activity. Right? So what happens when they raise the wages? They raise the cost of goods. So when the government says you have to pay somebody $25 an hour, whose fault is it when prices go up? The government. Instead, they should reduce the cost of doing business. Reduce taxes, reduce fees, reduce bureaucracy, reduce waste. You know what happens? The business then has more money. And some people say, well, they're capitalists, they'll steal. Well, okay, if they steal from the worker usually don't stay there. So it's the market economy, right? That's the free market, right? If a business does good, the employees do good. If the business does bad, like having to pay employees more than I'm not having to say this, and I'm a union guy, I'm a labor guy, I'm a union guy. You can't say that a guy that flips a burger is worth $25 an hour. I'm gonna tell you that. Any bizarre person who tells you that, They want to harm our society. Those are, what do I keep saying? Not all terrorists carry guns. Those are terrorists. They're political terrorists. They're like the people who do defund the police. If everybody knows defund the police don't mean take the money away. Everybody knows that. That's that conceptualization. I hope everybody understands. Defund the police means take their power away so we can keep the money and do whatever we want. That's where you get people that are DEI hires, right? That's where you get, what are they calling out? A quality of life mission on the trains. They don't arrest people. They do quality of life. They let them off. And guess what? He goes rob somebody at the next station. Got that? That's how that works. That's defunding the police, taking away the power. Then what happens? 5, 10, 20 years later, they say crime is so bad, we're going to add cops on the train, right? Isn't that what just happened? Didn't they just remove Monterey security and say, now we're going to put cops on the trains? Imagine Brandon Johnson, who's an anti-cop abolisher. He's an abolisher. He's an abolisher. He's not defunder. He's a abolisher. He wants to abolish the police departments. That's what he believes in. He's not a defunder. There's two parts of this. Defunders meaning they want to divert the money. An abolisher wants to wipe out all police, which is strange because communism has police. Iran has police. All societies have police. I checked. They already did a research paper on it. I don't know if I published it. But every society, including tribalism, meaning those tribes in deep Africa or deep South America or some in Asia, some in Central Asia, they have a form of police, law, and justice. It might not be what you think, but they have law and they have justice. Meaning if you do something that harms another person, there's what? Accountability, consequences, and deterrence. Brandon Johnson don't want that. Why? Because then he won't be able to be powerful. If there's no chaos, if there's no crime, if there's no drug addicts, right, then what is he going to spend the money on? What is he going to do? How is he going to have an existence? He won't, because there won't be something that he fights. So he creates the thing that he can fight. That's why Brandon does these things, right? And that's why they all do it. That's why Delilah Ramirez did that, right? What is this? Some red light broken? Yeah, the red light's broken. That's what it is. The red light's broken. That's what it is. It's broken here. That's why we were messed up there, right? So the more they increase the wages, the worse it is for what? All of us. All of us. When you increase wages, it harms everybody. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Here, let me tell these guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know. I don't know who to call, but that light down there by you guys on 12th Street, it's broken.
Yeah, we just notified
you. Yeah, all right, thanks. See you guys. Be safe, all right? SubX.News. SubX.News. There you go, right? Those young cops, they're already on it. Now, if a business is good, he takes care of his employees. But to artificially inflate wages is what? Harming a business. Harming business. And I'm going to tell you this. There's no communist country, a theocracy, or any other type of society that does that. Why? Because it harms their societies. It harms them. This is not communism that you're listening to on the radio. It's terrorism, right? They're terrorizing our society. Remember, in the first part of the broadcast, I said he's connected to Bill Ayers. Bill Ayers wants to destroy our society. Why? Because he can profit off of it. Bill Ayers' dad was a ComEd executive. Right? Bill Ayers has a government pension, yet he says he hates the government. You see how these guys operate? That's how they operate. They harm people. And we have to be careful about them, because then what happens, you have a 28-year-old young man that was standing on a corner of Laverne and Ferdinand, and he got shot yesterday, right? Let's do some radio calls, because I talk too much, and we'll see what kind of crime's going on, right? We'll go back at 6:19, we'll go back to about 6 o'clock, see if anything happened, right? Maybe we missed a call or two, right? We're going to give out some hamburgers.
California here is 10236, and ID is 10240.
7367.
86.
For road.
It's going to be 10245.
7383 Charlie.
83.
Lunch at 1. I'm sorry, lunch at Sunset.
Lunch where? You keep cutting out, I'm sorry.
767.
In 774. It's 10253, enjoy your lunch. We have anyone close by, 5300 North Lake Shore in the southbound lane. There's an auto accident.
3215, I don't have a box, but show me heading over there. The northbound or southbound?
They said it's going to be southbound. It was a iPhone recording though. They never called in themselves.
99, and you said it's 5300 North?
Yeah, 5300 North Lake Shore.
99. 384 boy.
84 boy?
For Garfield Red Line, sir.
Garfield Red, it's 10276.
Something must have happened with that bus because that cop is still there. Because when we came down, that cop was there. Remember that? It's been there for almost 30, 40 minutes now.
10281.
738480.
8480.
Number for the Cermak Red Line.
Cermak Red is 10287.
7387. Adam.
See the cops up there?
87.
Number for a ride mission at the Belmont Blue Line. Thank you.
Here, I'll explain that economic stuff another way. When you're having hard times in your family and you can't pay your bills, whatever is happening, right? That's what they're saying. People can't pay their bills. There's hard times right now. That's what they're saying. And their response is we got to raise what you spend. Right? Wages are spending, right? Spending by businesses. This is what they're saying. We're having a hard time, so we have to raise wages. We have to raise what we spend. When you have a hard time in your family, what do? Do you raise your spending? Do you take more vacations? Do you buy a new car? You go to steak dinners? Or do you go have ramen and you have some hot dogs? And you go to the museum instead of going to the concert? And maybe you go to your local park, right? There you go, right? I don't know what this is about. Let's pass this up, right? They've been here for a little while here. Well, there's a lot of stuff happening here. They're inside there or something that looks like something going on here. So we're going to go around the block, drop one off to Josh. So again, another way to think of conceptualization of the raising the wages is that in your family, when you're having a hard time, right? Where, say your mom gets sick and you have to take her in, right? You have to move all her stuff in. You have to do all of this. Now what? You can't, spend extra money and you have to pay a little bit extra. Maybe you got to hire a nurse. Maybe you do. Whatever it is. Or maybe you can't do that extra job. Or maybe you got to take the family leave off. And now you give up your salary and you got to stay at home. So then what would you do? Would you take a vacation? Would you buy a new car? Absolutely not. You might not even go out to eat anymore. You might stay at home and eat now, right? So that's the same conceptualization. They're saying that since there's bad times in our society, we need to raise what we spend. And that spending is the wages, which doesn't even make sense. What you should do when you have a hard economy and bad times, do what? Stop your spending, make it easier and better for you to make money, right? And when you get back on your footing, then you reward people, right? You reward the workers, right? That's what you do. Just like when you get out of a bad situation in your family or your personal spending, then what? Then you can have a little fun, take a vacation. Maybe buy yourself a car. Maybe go out and have a nice dinner, a nice steak dinner or a vegetarian dinner, whatever you eat. Who knows? Or buy yourself a nice dress or a nice suit or whatever you do. That's how you do it. And let's see what this guy wants here, right? Oh, Oh, we got a parking spot there too. That's good. I told you I'd be back. How many you want? 3? I don't know, you forgot to give me the straw though. There you go, my brother. It's cheese you said, right? Cheeseburger? I'm only gonna give you 4, is that alright? Can I take care of you tonight? You're pushing your luck always. I'm gonna go see some other people, alright? I got a few more people to see. If I got any extra, huh? I'm gonna go see some more people, that's why. Alright? If I got some extra, I'll stop by a little later, alright? Take it easy, my brother. Be good, alright? One day, if you want, we'll do an interview, if you want to. Tell me your life story, alright? Over pizza, we'll get a nice big pizza, me and you, alright? Huh? He didn't give it to me. Sorry about it, my brother. I asked him for one, he didn't give it to me. Let me look. No, he didn't give it to me. Sorry about it, my brother. Take it easy, okay? Good seeing you. Be safe, alright? Alright, let's go see Tommy. That's our next guy. I like Tom, right? He's over on Lake Street. So, the idea is what? When we have less resources and have a hard time, what do? You save what you can, and then what? You make what you need. I was just watching a good video. There's I'll give you guys the link. It was about frontiers, and I don't know what it is, if it's an HBO or a Netflix series. It's pretty good. I might go home tonight. Because, you know, Tuesdays are movie night for me, right? And it's about the frontier, and those frontiersmen had nothing. They had to build everything themselves. They had no sheriffs. They had no police. They had nobody to build something. They had no tools except an axe and a gun. And that's it. Right? They had nothing. They had to do everything themselves. The early, there's 2 people in our society that really created our country. But 4 in the early parts. There was the first pilgrims that came, right? That was the first one. And then there were the first pilgrims established the first settlements. Then there was the revolutionaries. And in the middle of the revolutionaries, there was the frontiersmen. They were both at the same time. There was 2 sets of people. First was the pilgrims and the settlers, right? Those aren't colonizers. They came here from Europe to what? To live a different life. They weren't colonizers. See, everybody confuses the colonization of our society with what? People who live here. The colonizers were the Spanish, the British, the French, the Russians up in Alaska. You know, Russians were up in Alaska. Part of Mexico and Austria from Mexico, right? Because Mexico at one time was under the Habsburg Austrian Empire. Everybody knows that one, right? That's why they do the Umpapa bands. Everybody knows why Mexicans have the brass bands. That's because of the Austrians. They learned that from Austria. But I think it was Maximilian, right? I believe so. You gotta check all my facts. Sometimes I mix up facts here, right? But those were the colonizers, the countries, right? Spain, Portugal, Amsterdam, right? The Netherlands. Even the early Leif Erikson, right? The Viking guys. But those were mostly individuals leaving, right? It was the societies and the countries that were the colonizers. They made what those people who came here, the individuals, send back either money or goods. And at one time, they said, that's enough of that. You're taxing us too much, kind of what they're doing now. And we're not going to we're not going to take that anymore, and we're going to have a revolution. But in the middle of the revolution, and this is from the video I watched the other day. I'm gonna post it up on the page. It's a really good series. I think there's 6 segments right now. It just started. And it talks about these individuals. Like right now, I was just watching about Daniel Boone, and this is Daniel Boone's time. He was a frontiersman. He wasn't a pioneer, and he wasn't a pilgrim. Pilgrims, frontiersmen, pioneers. Those were all different people. So during the revolution times, there was frontierism, where they were going west. And they were going into what? The colonial powers' land. It was mixed with the Indians. The Indians were the natives there. And the frontiersmen said, look, we don't want to be taxed. We don't like the government. We're leaving even the settlements of the east, and we're going where? We're going west. Read about Daniel Boone. I'm going to put the link up. So we had two things happening at once when we had the revolution. We had frontierism and we had revolutionaries. One said, we're not going to pay these guys no money that are in Europe. These colonists, right? That dude's messed up there. Look at that. Let's see how he's parking. Kind of wild, isn't it? Did you just see that? So you had the revolutionaries telling the king, which is funny. We had the king here today, right? And it was funny. There's a bunch of videos of all the Democrats clapping for King Charles, yet he's a king. Look at the video. I'm going to post it on our page. They were all clapping, standing ovation for a king. That's that guy's plate. That dude's got a fake license plate there. That's a fake license plate. That ain't a real license plate. They put fake shit on their cars. So yeah, they were clapping for King Charles today. All the Democrats were clapping for him. There's a video of it. I'll show it to you. So we had the revolutionaries saying, you know, we ain't gonna pay that King George. I think that was King George, wasn't it, at the time? Saying, we ain't paying that guy, man. Forget that guy. We're not gonna be doing that kind of stuff. So those guys were fighting them in Lexington and Concord, right? While Daniel Boone was in Kentucky going west. And he was getting land. Why? Because the people didn't want to listen to that kind of behavior. That you have to pay to live. And they wanted to build their own life. When someone tells you you have to pay your employee $25 and it's mandated by a government official that never had a job, you're out of your mind. That's anti-American. That's anti-anything that's normal in behavioral science. To artificially inflate what you get to survive. It makes you weak. That's anti-Darwinism. It's anti-behavioral. I told this story before, about a year or two ago on the broadcast. It's like telling the antelope, when the lion comes, don't run. The lion is nice. The lion is your friend. The lion won't hurt you. Be nice to the lion. Yeah, he eats antelope. He loves antelope, but be nice to the lion. That's what the people like Brandon Johnson say. Let's listen to the news a little bit. And then I'll continue with that line of thought. They're very dangerous. I'm saying that. They're dangerous.
Paying more because of State Senator Rick Nehemiah.
That's fueling commercials like that one, paid for by the Trump-aligned American Leadership PAC, and all stemming from a vote in the Hoosier Senate last fall.
You actually had 21 Republican state senators oppose redistricting, which was pretty bold.
Bold because the president and Governor Mike Braun wanted to redraw the state's political maps to erase Indiana's only 2 Democratic congressional districts.
Darnell voted against President Trump's agenda in Washington.
But now the president and the governor want to replace those Republicans in favor of ones more loyal to the administration.
Trump won all 3 times. He was on the ballot for president in Indiana.
But Dr. Miller says the success of this campaign remains to be seen. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 1059, WBBM.
And consumers are struggling to handle skyrocketing gas prices amid the war in Iran. CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes reports.
AAA says the price of gas is the highest it's been since April of 2022 as peace talks between the U.S. and Iran are at a standstill. This woman is watching the prices rise at a nearby gas station.
The one by my house yesterday was under $4, and now it's almost $4.15.
Many drivers in Boston say the cost to drive anywhere.
You guys seen the bender, right? That's a bender.
Cost for a gallon of regular gas is $4.18.
There's cops walking there.
And gas prices are higher than ever, and every penny counts. Our reporters, traffic team, and listeners, they're tracking the lowest gas prices across the Chicago area.
Somebody
Listen
just
for the
gave
lowest
Tom
gas
a bunch of
prices
money,
around
right?
37 minutes past every hour, only on News Radio 105.9 WBBM. Coming up after the break, we are going to take a look at those low gas prices. The time now is 6:35.
Is your financial
Man,
advisor managing
I need
your
to
risk?
take lessons from you, my brother. You're gonna teach me how to be a millionaire, Tommy. What do you want? Cheeseburgers or hamburgers? I got White Castles. I got White Castles. You want cheese or hamburgers? I got White Castles. You want cheeseburgers or regular? Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger? I'll get it. I'll give it to him. Thank you. And say hello to the audience. They haven't seen you in a while. Everybody asks for where's Tommy at. I said he got a haircut. He's looking good. Why? What happened, my brother? Four, right?
Oh, my leg.
Where do you want that? Don't worry about it. I won't show that part. Is that all right?
Yeah, where the pump at?
That's Tom, everybody. This is our old friend. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, peace out.
We were talking to the guy without the fingers.
Wow.
You know him, right? With the bones in his fingers?
No, I don't know.
Harold over here, he hangs around down at that spot over there.
I don't know.
He's like, give me $4. I said, what?
Wow. Well, I'm out here. I just got out yesterday, man.
Where were you at?
In Northwestern, man. And I'm very...
Were they taking care of your health stuff?
I got water. I got water in my lungs. I had water in my lungs and my kidneys.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Would they give you medication or what?
Yeah, and this phantom pain is really, it's killing me.
So
they cut both my legs off for diabetes.
So how we know Tom? Let me tell people this. We've been interviewing Tom for a few years now, and he says he can't get housing because the housing doesn't have wheelchair access. Right, brother?
Right.
That's Tom's problem.
Right.
And they keep refusing him. And you've been on the list for how long now? Years, right?
Right. About 2.5, going on 3.
So he's trying to get housing, but since he doesn't have his legs, he has to have a wheelchair. He can't get into any of these houses, right? Or the housing they have.
You're right.
So that's how we know. You can look up our videos with us. We talk to people out there. They tell us the truth. Not all. No, we don't want to know everything. Right, my brother?
Yeah.
So if you ever come down here, you stay over here usually, right? The Garvey place?
They want me to stay over this way so they can locate me.
So if you ever see Tom, come and see him. He's a good man. Over at Garvey and Lake, drop him some food or just talk some bullshit with him, right? I can't tell you everything me and him talk about on camera, so that's all I got to say, right, Tommy?
That's right. That's right.
What we talk about is our business, right, my brother?
That's right. That's right.
All right, are you good?
I'm good.
All right, it's good seeing you, my brother.
Hey, you too, brother.
Hey, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a long time. You staying out of trouble or what? I don't know about that. Let me see your knuckles. Are they clean? Oh, look at that, man. He's getting soft, ain't he? What do you want? I got a few extra. You want a little cheeseburgers or what? Or I got some White Castles, my brother. You want some or what? I got a bag. Open it up. You take care of Tommy, all right? Yes, sir. I was talking to that guy with those messed up fucking fingers over there. He's fucked me up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know. And he's telling me, give me $4 and all of this stuff. I'm saying, man, I don't know. I ain't got no money. And then he was just doing his thing. He was smoking on the pipe and all of that stuff. And I said, man, You gotta be, I don't know why you're in the hospital. You know what kind I'm talking about, right? He's got the bones right here, right? I'm like, he's supposed to be in the hospital. He ain't supposed to be out on the street. And so what he had his tag from the fucking hospital, and they see, someone should sue that hospital. You know what I'm talking about? You want some burgers? Or yeah, I got a few, man. As long as you're taking care of Tommy over there, man. Huh? I don't got that money, right? Let's see. Yeah, I got some. Here's a bag, man. He's next, man. Yeah, he's over here. My name is John, SubX.News, my brother. There you go. You know, man, you see me with my Jeep all around. Who's that white motherfucker? About a year ago, he threw some shit at me, man, once. This fucking drink, motherfucking white jag off.
The young guy?
Yeah, some white motherfucker. He was here always. You remember, he was hanging here, and I drove by, and he's throwing shit at my truck, man. You want to get rid of the whole box, or what? I got 3 more left. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
Get rid of that? You want some napkins? I got some napkins, all right? Make sure you take care of Tom, all right? All right, you guys be safe, right? SubX.News, by the way. You want to say hello on the internet? Or are you guys hiding from the feds?
Yeah, I'm hiding.
You want to say hello?
What's going on?
All right, there we go. Say hello to the folks. Tell them how it is on the streets of downtown.
What's going on? It's rough down here, but they take care of us real good, real good.
You want to introduce yourself or what? Tell people what you guys need down here.
Yeah, my name is. We need places to stay. We need clothes, underwear, t-shirts, everything.
Come on down, drop it off, right?
We need housing.
Housing.
Yes.
Hey, you know what you got to be? Be a migrant, man. Speak Spanish. You might get housing. They gave all those guys spots, remember that? You guys don't get that, right?
Nope.
They were supposed to open one of them down here in Streeterville for you guys. You remember that? It was supposed to be down there, a hotel, and they didn't give them to you, right?
I'm going to tell you something.
Go ahead, brother. Look, you need to tell people the truth here, what they know.
I mean, yeah, they get it to a certain extent.
Right.
They take their time, you know. It is what it is. But then you got the other side, because I'm going to keep it both ways. It's a sword with a double edge. I'm going to keep it both ways. Then you got guys that do get the apartment and don't go home. Sit in the street. So,
go eat, my brother.
So that focuses up for people like me and my man here who want an apartment, but then these people is skeptical about giving it to them because you got other motherfuckers that get the apartment, don't go home.
So use the system. That's what you're saying, right? So it messes. It's like when we grew up, you mess it up for everybody, right?
Yes.
It's like the one guy that messes shit up for everybody when you're in the classroom or remember when we were in school? Right? There you go, right? What's up? No, I ain't got no money. I don't smoke. Sorry, I got the bronchitis. I stopped that 30 years ago.
Thanks for the food.
All right, man, John, all right? SubX.News, I always stop by. I want shit to be fixed, okay? All right, take it easy, guys. Take care of Tommy over there, all right?
Tommy a motherfucker.
That's why I love him, man. I think he's like my dad. He's my stepdad. See you, Tommy. You guys be good, all right? SubX.News, all right? See you, Tommy. They're good men. They got little problems. They all got a little bit of substance abuse issues. Yeah, that's the truth. But they just told you that, right? That certain people mess it up for them. So that's the way it is, right? All these guys know me, man. I know people all over the city. I've been doing this homeless outreach for I don't even know how long, man. I was homeless before, 40 years ago. I know all that stuff. And I've done homeless outreach. I've helped homeless shelters. I've helped pay for issues with homeless. I'm not talking about pay the guy, right? I'm talking about set up funding and all of that stuff. So you got to understand the situations out there. It isn't about the money. It's about the system that is haves and have-nots. Is everything they say true? Is everything they say the truth or the fact? I don't know, and it doesn't matter. The point is the man tells you what the issue is. He goes, some guys get apartments and they don't even go. And I need an apartment. I want an apartment, right? And we've talked to other guys who get apartments and they rent them out. We told you that, right? We interviewed a guy. Gary, right? You remember that interview? That was a year or two ago? We interviewed a guy live. Or sometime, I don't know. Gary, you know who Gary is? Yeah, we interviewed a guy and he says, I have an apartment. who's living on one of the viaducts on the west side. He goes, but I rent it out for $2,000 and I get my money. That's what he told us. So that's how that works, okay? Right or wrong, good or bad, you need to know the facts. No one on the internet, I'm gonna tell you this. No one in Chicago, not one. I was just about to swear, but there's a lot of good people not watching me. I don't want to swear. Not one person on the internet. Not one. None. Zero. Whether they're independent news organizations, bloggers, Twitter people, influencers, or government agency, or mainstream media, report the actual facts from the street. Why? Because they eat from the same trough. They eat that crumb that Brandon Johnson and those neoliberals give them. They eat those crumbs. They give them crumbs. Here, those guys are still here. How long ago? Who's been watching my broadcast since 4 o'clock? Who's been watching my broadcast since 4 o'clock? Guys are still there, ain't they? Aren't they still there? You tell me, when's the last time? The last time a major media did anything on the homelessness was what? Walter Jacobson, when he went and slept with the homeless guys. Don't you remember that? It was how many years ago now? 30, 40 years ago? Walter Jacobson? Think about it. Look at what you see every day. There's guys in other cities. Arizona, LA, San Francisco, Portland. There's some guys in Kennington out east that do this type of work. There's no one who does this work in Chicago. No one. Why? Because they all get the money from the trough. The same trough. They get crumbs to what? Be nice to the people who what? Give them the crumbs. They're not fixing things, and then they put a video, oh, we're giving them tents. We're giving them blankets. Tents? Why are you giving a homeless guy a tent? Why don't you give him an apartment? Why don't you advocate like I've been advocating for almost 4 years now? Why don't you get those homeless guys that are next to the Robert Morris University that's now closed down for how many years now? 5, 6, 7 years now? 8 years now it's been closed? Why don't you have the city confiscate that building by eminent domain, that it's abandoned? Look at all these potholes here. See the potholes? Where's the wolf pack? Why aren't they fixing these potholes, right? You ain't ever gonna fix that. You gotta fix the whole thing. That's a fake thing too. The wolf pack potholes, that's all fake, right? A guy that sleeps right there. So why doesn't the government use its power to take over that government building over there, that Robert Morris building? Use its taxation powers and revenue powers to hire people or pay homeless people or pay veterans or pay the unemployed or underemployed to do what? To run that shelter, right? The Robert Morris abandoned building. And you can have businesses in there. You can have all kinds of things in there. Rehab. You can even have drug rooms. If people can't get off the drugs, they might need a drug room to do their drugs. I'm sorry to say that. If you don't know this population and you think you're offended by what I just said, then there's not too much I can tell you, right? Then you don't understand the population. You don't. You're just on the internet playing, I think I know something, and I think I'm going to say something, and I think I'm going to be smart. So there you go, right? Some of these guys live down here, right? You see that there? There you go. We got videos going back, what, 4 years over here? 4 years. I was threatened here, too, that they were going to shoot me here, too, once. This is a wild place. This is a distribution place here. It's a white dude there, don't you see that? Or a migrant? That guy might be a migrant. See that there? Those are migrants. See that there? That guy there, did you see him with the afro? He's upstairs. He hangs by the 7-Eleven. Look him up. Look on my videos. This is nothing new. I've talked to those guys. Right? This is their ecosystem, right? And people who say you shouldn't do this. There you go, Walter Jacobson. Yeah, didn't he hang with the homeless before? There you go. Let's see if anybody's down in this area, right? Think about it. Just think. Look, I'm not beating my chest. This is not about beating chests or who's better, who's worse. I'm just saying, what mainstream media, what NGO, what independent news organization, blogger, or anybody in the city of Chicago or in this area has done any work with the homeless people that is consistent? You know, I talked about Inglewood Barbie. People told me about her, and she don't come around no more. Now, I don't know if she does or not. I don't want to speak bad about her. And I'm not. I seen her once. Unseen, right? That's what we have to start doing, and that's what I'm about. I'm about systemic change. I ain't about videos and do you like me or you don't like. I can care less if you like me or not. I don't care if you like me. You got that? You don't need to like me at all. I don't want followers. Marietta knows this. I don't want followers. Absolutely not. I don't want no followers. I want 0 followers. I want no followers. None. 0. And you're like, man, this guy's crazy. What is he talking about? He doesn't want followers. Isn't that how Facebook and Instagram and TikTok work and YouTube work? Followers and influencers and what else? They were insulting me yesterday, a bunch of people. What's it? Clout chasing. Fuck, man. I'm damn 60 years old, man. You're a fool to say that kind of crap to me, man. Clout chasing. While they got dope and porno on their pages. Dope and pornos. Dope pornos on the page talking about clout chasing. While they had their baby pictures up there with their babies, their kids. They promote dope, they promote their child, and they promote porno. All on one page. What kind of a sick person does that? What sick person mixes drugs with children on their page and laughs about it? And jokes about it and says weird sayings and weird stuff. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your own child, your own offspring? Why would you mix them into that culture? And then you come on my page saying some stuff, man. Stay off. Go away. Again, I don't need no followers. I could use 0 followers. I could care less. You know what I would do every day? The same thing I do every single day. This. I didn't do this for followers. I never did that for followers. I did it because I seen a problem. I told you why I started doing this segment 3 years ago. It's now in its 4th year, right? Because of the migrants. And I said, man, that's messed up. And I started videotaping it and posting. Why? Because it's documentation. So you're a buffoon and a fool if you think this is about clout. And if you do it for clout, you're a buffoon and a fool. That's what you are. Because if you're especially doing it for crime and drugs and gangs, you're documenting your self-criminal behavior. That's how bizarre of a brain you have become. That's how silly some of these people are. If you look at their pages, they self-document their own criminal activity. What an idiot you must be. They must be brainwashed. Again, I don't need no followers. I would do this every single day without nobody watching this thing. None. 0. I never had people watching this thing. I used to videotape and upload. That's what I used to do. I never did this live. And you know why I started doing it live? So that way it would be something that someone can't say that I altered the video. That's why I run it live. There was a lady up here saying, oh, 2 hours of content. What am I watching? Watching whatever you want to watch. I don't know what you want to watch. It's up to you. You want to watch the skyline over there? Did you want to watch the Navy Pier where I took you? Did you want to watch where I just took you down there by Lower Wacker Drive? That was Lower Wacker Drive where we were just at, right? Do you want to watch the South Loop where we're at? Do you want to watch the White Castles where you just learned it's $8.99 for a 10-pack? $8.99 for a 10-pack. That means it's less than $1 a piece. $8.99 for a 10-pack of burgers. It's a special now at White Castles. Think about it. We just showed you that. Nick said, hey, that's a good deal. Yeah, $8.99 means it's less than $1 each. I remember when those sliders were, I think they were $0.25 when I was younger. They were never $1. So that's a good company. They're lowering the prices. So that's what we show on our page, right? We show these things. And yeah, I talk and I blabber and I do this and that. Sometimes I get ornery, I swear, and I do this stuff. Hey, that's how life is. I'm a 58-year-old dude, man, that's lived on the south side of Chicago most of my life. I lived a little on the north side. I lived a little bit outside of the city for a few years with my mom while she was getting divorced. But most of my time has been in the city. And most of it been on the south side. That's just how I am. Everybody remembers this? This is where the S-curve used to go. The S-curve used to go around that pool. That's a pool there, that dome. The S-curve, the Lakeshore Drive, you see those columns there? Right there? The S-curve used to come straight and turn around. That's a pool right there. With that dome there, that's a pool. This, what we're on now, this is all brand new. This never existed 10 years ago. Where I'm at right now. This is all brand new. This is all brand new. There's nothing old here that's older than 10 years old. I don't think so. This is where the city's changing. And that's what we show everybody. We show you the good. We show you the bad. You can agree with it. You don't have to agree with it. You do what you want with it. You want to share it. You want to cut it. But here, I'm going to tell you one thing and I'm going to be ending, right? Because it's 7 o'clock. We do 3 hours. That's it. Don't ever try to harm me, my viewers, or my business. Never try to do that. If you do, and you do it by mistake, you might just get off my page. But if you intentionally, and I went through this a few years ago, and I need to start doing this again. If you're intentionally trying to harm me because of somebody you work with, whether it's the union or now the government, Brandon Johnson's government. Oh man, there's cops over here. Something just happened. Let's go over here. Look. Something going on here. There you go, right? Police activity over here. See that there? Park Shore Condominium. Why don't we throw it on the... Why don't we, put it on Citizen app and see what's going on here, right? Police activity here. See that there? Park Shore Condominium, right? Let's see what Citizen app says, right? SubX.News, 6:58 p.m., April 28th, 2026. We're at Park Shore Condominiums. We're in downtown Chicago, right along the lakefront here. The lake is right opposite of this. Lakeshore Drive is there, and there's 2 police squads here for some reason. We don't know why. Again, police activity here at Park Shore Condominiums. Down there? Police activity. Maybe I got to put on the radio, right? How you doing, my brother? I'm covering this crime scene right here, or whatever is going on with the news here.
All right, I was about to say, be careful. No, regardless.
All right.
Two-way traffic comes through. So
all right, I'll get out of here. I'm just getting some B-roll, making my report, and then I get out of here. Everybody okay? Is that your building?
Well, no. Neighboring building, but like I said,
I'll be out of here.
Clear.
All right.
If it backs up,
if I hear anybody, I'll move right away, my brother. I appreciate you, okay? Be safe, all right? So there's something going on there, and you got even a white shirt there. See that there? police activity at Park Shore condominiums at 7 p.m.
47. He later
April 28,
deleted the photo,
2027.
saying he didn't realize some people associated those numbers with violence. Charges against Comey in another case were dismissed in November. He posted his reaction to the latest charges on his Substack.
Nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
Elon Musk takes the stand on the very first day of court in his lawsuit against artificial intelligence company OpenAI. Musk is demanding tens of billions of dollars in damages from the defendants for allegedly lying. CBS's Jolene Kent with details.
Musk took the stand under oath, testifying about his position that he had originally, as a co-founder of OpenAI, contributed money in order to help sustain a mission of a non-profit organization that OpenAI originally started as. He is alleging in his lawsuit that Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, and the company itself misled him intentionally when they turned OpenAI into a for-profit enterprise.
OpenAI calls the lawsuit a baseless and jealous bid to derail a competitor. Millions in the central U.S. are under the threat of severe storms, including tornadoes and hail. CBS News meteorologist Ron Marciano.
All right, you guys ready to get out of here?
Really getting hit. Dallas-Fort Worth Metro Park are under a number of severe weather warnings, including some tornado warnings, so look out, especially the north side of town, along the Grapevine into Denton and Frisco and Plano.
State dinner is being held at the White House with guests of honor, Britain's King and Queen. Earlier today, King Charles III spoke to a joint meeting of Congress about the unity between the U.S. and U.K.
Standing here today, it is hard not to feel the weight of history on my shoulder, because the modern relationship between our two nations and our own peoples spans not merely 250 years, but over 4 centuries.
A U.S. Special Forces soldier has pleaded not guilty in federal court in New York to charges that he used classified information about the mission to capture former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro to win more than $400,000. And Ken Van Dyke is accused of using the information on the prediction market Polymarket. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world. Tony, there are big questions that don't give us.
Pretty cool spot, ain't it? I'm telling you, Chicago's got a lot of cool spots. Again, this is Park Condominiums. I don't think this is Garvey Court like Citizen App is saying.
Now is 7:03 on Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. Good evening, I'm Glenn Marshall, and currently we're sitting around 63 degrees under some mostly cloudy skies here in Chicago. We are expecting a shower or two from late evening on. It's going to be a low of 48 degrees tonight. And tomorrow, it's going to be cooler with clouds, some intervals of sun, and a passing shower or two, a high of 56 with partly cloudy skies tomorrow night with a low of 41 degrees. And we're going to look at that AccuWeather 5-day forecast at 7:05. Right? But right now, here is our top local story on News Radio WBBM. The Illinois Accountability Commission held its 5th public hearing today, revealing additional findings from investigations into alleged misconduct of federal agents during Operation Midway Blitz. Chair Ruben Castillo said the findings continue to be troubling.
In my 25 years as a federal judge, I've never seen the type of brutality shown by the agents involved in Midway Blitz. It is really unprecedented.
The commission expects its findings to be finalized by Governor J.B. Pritzker on Thursday. And Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says there's still a lot to unpack about the suspect in the fatal shooting of a police officer at a Northwest Side hospital. He also says it's a sign that the criminal justice system is in constant need of reform. The story from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles.
The first question the mayor fielded during his town hall meeting on Channel 7 was about the record of the suspect in last weekend's death of Officer John Bartholomew.
I'm going to continue to ask that the city of Chicago continue to pray for the Bartholomew family.
And he went on to say details about the suspect's past were still being unpacked. Those details include a missed court date last month and several failed check-ins with his electronic monitor tied to a previous criminal case. He was asked, is the system broken?
I don't think there's a debate around the penal system, the justice system, and its inability to really hold all of the complexity that exists within our society.
He said the time is always right to consider changes to make sure the system treats everyone fairly, but did not name specific changes he felt were needed.
What I'm going to do is focus on the things that I can control,
which he said includes supporting the police department and making sure suspects are held accountable. We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
Advocates from across the country, including here in Illinois, say they are hopeful for one of the largest ever May Day movements later this week.
We have about over 30 cities mobilizing to take a stand, demand dignity, safety, and justice for the immigrant community.
One of those cities is Chicago. Lawrence Benito, Executive Director of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, expects a major turnout.
This Friday is an opportunity for all people of conscience, immigrant leaders, allies, and those sharing in the struggle to show up, to say no to authoritarianism, and say yes to freedom to stay, freedom to work, and freedom to thrive.
Benito joined a press conference of leaders from numerous states, calling on people from all walks of life to take part in their local May Day demonstrations. Andy Kang leads the Fair Immigration Reform Movement.
We view the immigrant rights movement and the workers' rights movement as one and the same because they are interdependent.
ICIRR plans to join a march downtown Chicago beginning at noon. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Just 2 weeks after Chicago saw its first piping plover sightings of the season, another famed shorebird visitor has made his local debut. Talk about Pepper has returned to Waukegan Beach. Now, this Lewick is the president of the Lake County Audubon Society. She says 70 years after the piping plovers completely disappeared from Illinois, they are making a comeback.
Their numbers are making slow but steady progress. We had a record number, 88 breeding pairs in the Great Lakes last year, which was up from, I believe, 82 in 2024.
Now, Pepper's mate Blaze has not yet been sighted, but volunteers expect her to be back in the coming days. And Illinois lawmakers are hoping to curb ticket scams with a new bill banning speculative ticketing.
If you've ever purchased a ticket for a show but were told at the door that your ticket isn't valid, you might have been a victim of speculative ticketing when third-party sellers list tickets that they do not have. That's what a new Illinois bill aims to stop. It requires sellers to have tickets in hand before selling them. It would also allow consumers to file complaints through the state attorney general's office. The bill passed the Illinois House unanimously and now awaits action in the Senate. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
At 7:08, traffic and weather together on the 8s, and here to give us an update on the crash.
So it's about 7 o'clock. We're at a 3-hour mark. We appreciate everybody watching. And you know how we are. If sun comes up, we'll go live, we'll post it. We'll keep you guys updated. But we have some time restraints that we have to, because of publishing and posting. So, alrighty. Take it easy, everybody. Love everybody. Have a good night. SubX.News is signing off at 7:08 p.m. It's April 28th, 2026. Have a good night. Appreciate you watching. Thank you. 7:17 p.m. April 28th, 2026. There you go. New tents. New tents. How much do these NGOs make giving out tents? Maybe we need to start asking that question, right? How much do NGOs make giving out tents? SubX.News, it's 7:45 p.m., April 28th, 2026. This is Wacker Drive. That's coming off of Lakeshore Drive. That's the lake. That's the city. That's Columbus right there. You want to see something? Here, watch this. Look at this. There's cars down there. You see the cars down there? Look. There's cars all around. There's cars above us. You want to see something? You want to see how they take care of our city? Look, watch. There you go. That's our city. You understand that? That's our city. That can drop down on your head down there. And it's all over. Look at this. Want to see this? Look at this. That's rebar sticking out here. This is a road, man. This is Wacker Drive. That's Lakeshore Drive. want to see this? It's all over. You got potholes everywhere. You want to see this? I'll show you this. SubX.News on the spot reporting. It's a, you gotta watch, man. There's traffic. Look, they like patched a few potholes over there, but they're forgetting about that one. Look at that. I don't know how deep that is. See that there? Look at the concrete right here. Look at this. Want me to show you this one? Look. See that? That's a park. People go down there at a park. Look at all this concrete here. Look at the rebar, man. See that there? That's where people are, man. People hang there, man. Look at that. There's concrete right here. Look. That's concrete, bro. There's people down there, man. You got all kinds of crap going on here. Look at this. You want to see this one here? Look. See that there? Look at this. You want to see some more? There's people down there. You want to see this? Watch. Look. Look. Did you just see that? There's people that walk down there. Look at it. Look. See that? It's all over here, man. Wolfpack. Where's the Wolfpack at? Fixing this stuff. They ain't fixing shit. This shit's all... And oh, wait. The piece de la creme. There you go. How about that one? You know what all that is there? That's all concrete falling down. All concrete. See that there? Remember, that was right there, right? Look. It's concrete. SubX.News. See the concrete? See the concrete? Want me to show you some more down there? I think that's enough, ain't it? SubX.News on the spy reporting. 7:58 p.m. April 28, 2026. Check this out. We're in downtown, man. We were just showing on another video, they did some patching over there, the Wolfpack, right? Brandon Johnson's fake pothole team. But yet, somehow they forgot this one. Look at that. That's downtown, man. That's Columbus, Illinois, all of this, all fancy stuff here. Look at that. See that there? That's a deep one there. That's deeper than the one I showed them over there. Look at that. Pretty wild, isn't it? Why would you patch a few holes but miss the big one? The big one that gets you into downtown. There you go. SubX.News. SubX.News, 8:20 p.m. April 28, 2026. We're still here by our pothole over here. But then, while I'm uploading all my videos, I noticed something here, right? I noticed there's the Riverwalk down here. We showed you the Riverwalk over there. Here's a Riverwalk here. You see there's people down there. You see that there? There's people all over. You see that there? They're walking. That's a pothole. That's bad, right? But then I said, wait. Riverwalk, people, look at this. This is busted up concrete. Rocks. Look at all those rocks there. And people walk right there. There's people underneath here. See that there? You want to see this? Want to see this? You're going to watch out here, right? See that? People walk right there. Watch this. Look. See that there? Look. Did you just see this? See that? See that chunk? That's sitting right there. There's people right down there. Look at that. Look how dangerous our city is. See that there? That just came out of there. And there's people who walk there. There's parties there. There's all kinds of stuff here, right? Look at that. There's rebarb. There's all kinds of stuff here. See that there? Look. It's all loose. Kind of get it? You have to be careful here. See that there? It's all right there. The wind blows it, does something like that, it hurts people. You can say, oh, it's not that important. I don't know. If you get hit in the head with this, and you're walking down there, I think that's important, right? See that there? Look. Again, this just came off of there. See that there? It's all loose. There's people walking right there. This came off of right there. You see that there? SubX.News on this power point. You want to see a little bit more? Look. That came from there. Right? And look at this. Watch. Look. See that? Did you just see that? Again, people walk here. Did you see that, right? Look at that. That's loose. That's the rebarb, man. Look at that. Did you see that there? Look, one more time. That's our Riverwalk there. You see people walking down there? Look at that. Look how dangerous this is. It's all loose. See that there? You want to see some more? Let me show you this. Watch. Look. See that there? Look, it's all loose. See that there? Look. One more time. There's people walking right here. There's people right there. There's stairways there. You see that there? Look at all this loose concrete. See all the loose concrete? See the people walking down there? Look. I ain't making this up. There's more over here. Look at all this stuff. It's all loose. See the people walking? They're walking right there. They're innocent. Look at all that concrete I just pulled off. Imagine this. Imagine this hit you in the head. What is that, 2 stories down? What do you think would happen to you if that hit you in the head there? Want to see? There's people right there. See that there? Look at all that concrete. Look at that. See that there? SubX.News on the spot reporting. We got bigger problems in the pothole. Those are bad. That directly endangers people. You see the person walking there? Look. There you go. SubX.News. Yeah. Where's the wolf pack at? That mayor is a fake guy who hurts people. You see that there? See all that? Yeah, it's dangerous there, man. Be safe. Be careful. SubX.News on the spot reporting. There was shots fired out of a car. This is where the first shots were fired, I believe. They have some people in custody in back of me. See that here? So that's what you're watching here. We're at Keeler and we're at Ogden and St. Louis. There were shots fired all around here, up and down Ogden. Okay, SubX.News on the spot reporting here. They have somebody in custody down the street. There was 3 in a car. It was a black Hyundai they shot out of the car. They have this taped off for evidence. There's multiple crime scenes here on Ogden. They were shooting out of a car. They were being followed by squads. The admin of the squads, 1064, I believe, that's the number of the admin, said don't follow. The helicopter started following them. They bailed out at 2233 Keeler over here and have 1 in custody with a gun recovered. That's where we're going right now, all right? So right here we're going to Keeler. Keeler is past Pulaski, right? So we got to go past Pulaski. And they dumped the car. One guy tried to hide underneath some stairway. They dumped the gun. 2 guys crossed Pulaski. They're trying to chase him with the helicopter now. It was a couple of minutes ago. So that's where we're at right now. It's right down the street here, yeah. There's all kinds of shooting back and forth on here, on this road here, on Ogden. They switched up. They went on the highway a little bit. They were jacking around here. Because, you know, if they drive like they were, the first calls, they said you can't. Administrators and CPD say you can't apprehend while they're driving. There's a rule against it, right? And that's since, I believe Lightfoot set that rule up. It was under Lightfoot's term, right? So we're going over to Ogden and Keeler over here where they dumped the car and they have 1 in custody. I think they already transported them to District 4, maybe, they said.
Negative, I don't know what happened. Yeah,
12456. Can you...
Did the vehicle come back stolen?
Yeah, that's 10-4, it was stolen.
Cool,
Can you send that back to me? Or was it 012456? Write that down for me, Holly. Send that back to me, what she said. I need that event number to track it, right? Because right now the radio is on my phone that's videotaping. Thanks. I think it's 01246. There's always 5 numbers for an event, and I can track it. That came in at 9:36. I can always go back to the recordings, right? So they're up here. You see that, right? So again, this is shots fired out of a stolen car. So they said, oh, it'll just be an auto theft. So it's a stolen car, shots fired out of a moving car, eluding. They don't. There you go. We just passed Blast. It's all right here. You'll see. SubX.News on the spot reporting. So this is shots fired out of a car here, right? It's right over here. I've been out here, man. This is where we're at. SubX.News on the spot reporting right here, right? There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Howie. Let's go over. See what's going on, right, guys? Maybe we'll find a car back there, right? Again, this should be a black Honda. Shots fired, it's stolen, right? There we go. Turn off my lights, right? SubX.News on the spot reporting.
North Avenue at the Home Depot, there's a male white 5'7" juvenile, curly brown hair, wearing a red flannel, black jeans. Appears to be trying to jump off the bridge. He climbed over the ledge, and there's other juveniles holding him. Marine Unit Headquarters.
They got one in custody here, right?
Marine Headquarters. Hey, did you copy that? We got a Marine
SubX.News on the spot reporting. This is a stolen vehicle. They were shooting out of the vehicle over there on Ogden. They were running all around over there, shooting at people. All right, they got one in custody. We're going to see if we can see this car over here, right? It's supposed to be a car in the alley over here, right? There we go. SubX.News. All right, what's up? What's up? SubX.News, what's up? I think I know that guy right there, man. There you go. So they're cutting out. They said they dumped the car somewhere over here, so they might have already took it. There you go, man. Where are we at? Are we on Keeler? Oh, we're on Kedville. Keeler's over there, so we might have to go find the car there. This ain't Keeler. They were shooting out of the car, right? So this ain't Keeler. This is Kedville. Keeler is one block down. We'll go try to find this car. Looks like they must have been chasing that guy right there. They're chasing somebody else. They said there's 2 guys on foot somewhere over here that were with them.
Do we have a 14th District car responding to speak to this third-party complainant, please? Yeah, 10-4.
So they got their lights on. They said there's 2 guys that we might have seen the 2 guys walking. Remember those 2 guys that were walking? One guy, there was a mix. There were Hispanics. I think the driver was Hispanic. And they had 2 black guys with them. And we seen 2 black guys walking over there. You remember that, right? There you go. Remember that? We might have seen the guys that are with them. We're going to go up here. Go over here. We'll see what we can see over here. The car's over here. So this is a stolen car. They were shooting out of the car. The police actually see them shooting. The thing was at that liquor store over there. Right. And they're still looking for 2 more guys. There's a squad here, there. See that there? There's more squad there. So this all ran all up and down Ogden Avenue. There's a lady walking there, right? What's she walking in this neighborhood? She ain't got no business here. You see, there's all kinds of people running around here, right? So now this is where the car should be, right? I'm gonna go see this. There it is. There's the car. Take some screenshots from me, because there we go, man. Look at that. There we go, man. You're going to see some police work now, right?
I got 2 numbers, upper and lower for
There we go.
I can only give out one. It's 13061.
So that's the car there. They were shooting out of that one there. See that there? SubX.News. We're at Keeler in Ogden. So they were shooting out of that car right there, right? They got one guy, and there's 2 other guys. We've probably seen the guys walking down there, right? SubX.News. There you go, man. Right there. Right? That's a stolen car, by the way. Right? They got one in custody, and they got a gun. He was running around up here somewhere, 2233 Keeler. He jumped in the back there, right? There you go, SubX.News on the spot reporting. There you go, only guys out here, right? Stolen car here, 3 dudes in it. And don't get fooled by race, Hispanic, white, or black. Oh, there you go, he smashed into that car there, see that there? They cracked that car up right there, right? That's what they did.
4363 Charlie.
We got a bunch of these guys out here, right?
Sparky, please put me down on the street stop, Warren and Western.
SubX.News.
Warren and Western, 10-4.
So they were shooting out of that car.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
The cops heard him shooting or seen him shooting up here on Ogden about 30-40 minutes ago. Then they started running around in circles all around on highways and all of that stuff, right? Then they finally came here. They dumped the car here or whatever. One guy ran back that way somewhere, dumped the gun, hid in a house. 2 other guys ran towards Pulaski, right? There we go. Right. SubX.News, right? And there's one in custody with a weapon recovered. The helicopter helped find the weapon, I believe, with a heat signal. Take some screenshots from me. It's a loud car there. SubX.News, on the spot reporting. Crimes everywhere. This is 3 guys, 2 guys got away on foot. I think we've seen the guys walking there in Ogden. Trust me, there ain't nobody walking around on Ogden Avenue. Right, there we go, right? I'm gonna take a few more pictures and we're gonna get out of here. We'll go up towards Pulaski. They might have found those guys, right? Right. There we go, right?
Marine Unit Headquarters, the zone's giving a complete disregard to the Marine.
SubX.News. We're reporting in. We're out here doing whatever we need to do. Ogden and Keeler, right? See that? Bad guys, right? What I do is I try to get the screenshot so later I'll get the screen grabs, right? That's why I move around like this. 'Cause I ain't got a fancy camera, right? It's just me. That's what that sergeant said yesterday. Oh, you're with your phones. Yeah, right. There we go, man. See that there? Oh, they got glass right there. See that there? Stolen car shooting out of the car, right? There we go, right? They got a backpack there recovered. See that there? There you go, man. There you go, man. That was a nice car there. They ripped on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. We're gonna go up Pulaski and see what's going on over there. They're still chasing one guy, right? Or two guys. And see the blue lights over there, right? Alright, there you go. Crime scene, right? There. They got one guy in custody somewhere over there, most likely. Put that damn light on, man. So you see they're searching back there. The guy ran, dropped the car there, ran in there, and then they said two guys walked that way to Pulaski. Again, we probably seen those two guys walking were probably the dudes. We gotta get the descriptions, and then I'll check my old video, right? I've passed guys that been doing crimes, right? There we go, right? Alright, let's get out of here.
Bring you to headquarters.
Bring you headquarters.
There you go. They probably got one guy in there, right?
Am I good to put it out?
They got a lot of cops out here, don't they? SubX.News. Yeah. Independent news. We ain't hooked up with Brandon Johnson. We don't take no fucking violence interrupter money. We ain't hooked up with the cops either. We're independent. We're an independent news agency. We're not beholden to no people. There you go. We bring you what we see. You don't like it? Too bad. Where is this at? I don't know. Where is it at? You guess, my brother. We're in Arizona, bro. That's where we're at. We're in Arizona. We're in Arizona, my brother. How about that? We're in Arizona. That's where we're at. You know, I used to be a teacher. You know what's the worst thing I hated? Can I tell you that, Elijah? And if you take this wrong, I really don't care. You know what's the worst thing I hated, Elijah? When a student came in late, and the first thing he said, "What are we doing?" You remind me of that kind of stuff. I don't know. Where we're at, we're somewhere, right? If you think I'm rude to you, well, then I am. I don't like that kind of stuff, because every day I get that from people, right? Where is this at? What is this? You're no good. I told you, I don't care about followers. I don't want followers, brother. I don't like followers. Go to another page. There's plenty of other pages where you can get your news from. Got that? Go to another page. You don't need to be on my page, my brother. Go find another place. Got that? I don't know, my brother. North Lawndale. I'm at Keeler and Ogden. Keeler and Ogden. Keeler and Ogden, my brother. Is that all right? Let's see. Keeler and Ogden. That's where I'm at. Each person's gonna say that. Where are we at? I know that. That's how life goes. Let's wipe off the other side, right? Everybody got the address, right? Keeler and Ogden. North Lawndale, that's where we're at. North Lawndale. There you go. Thanks, Holly. Appreciate you, sister. Keeler and Ogden, right? North Lawndale. They're looking for some guys behind. This is a shooting out of a car. That car right there, right? There's a black Hyundai stolen car. 3 guys. It sounded like it was a Hispanic driver with 2 black guys. They were shooting out of the car at somebody in back of us at that liquor store, I believe. They were shooting up and down Ogden. Cops heard it or saw it. They called it in, and then they asked for the helicopter to find these guys, right? Guy drove over here. They were driving all around the city for about 45 minutes with the helicopter chasing them, even on the highways. Guy ended up here. They crashed. As you seen, the car was crashed over there, right? And then you know what, brother? Get fucking out of here, motherfucker. Bye. Next person with a funny fucking question. Who's next? Who's next? Who's fucking next? Who else got a nice fucking comment for me? Again, what are you fucking paying for this shit? You ain't paying shit. Keep your mouth shut. I told you that. If you don't like this shit, get the fuck off my page, man. I don't give a fuck, man. I ain't looking for followers, man. I don't need followers, and I don't beg for money like other people do. Here, I'll tell you this. How come a dude that begs for money and he's on crime scenes right when it happens is also a violence interrupter? How the hell does a violence interrupter be a guy that does videotaping of crime scenes? You tell me that. Yeah, there you go. Oh. Hey, bitch. See you later, bitch. There you go. Next? Who's next? Who's fucking next? There you go, right? Keep up with your smart remarks, man. I ain't that guy, man. I don't suck on the mayor's ass, bro. Or his feet or his toes, man. I don't beg for money either. I don't need nothing, man. You got that? There you go. That's the crime scene there. That's a stolen car. They were shooting out of it. We're gonna go see if they found the other guys. Here's the story. They were shooting at people out of the car. The cops heard the shooting. It was up by Ogden and California. That's where they were shooting at. That's I don't know which hood is that there. You know, it's hot over there, right? You know, by the hospital over there. So there's that car. That car right there. That black car there. There, that car there. They were shooting at people. Got that? The cops heard it. The cops asked for the helicopter to help them because the admins of CPD says you can't chase them. Got that? So then they were following them with the helicopter. And then they ended up here. They were on the highways, all kinds of things. They ended up here. They crashed the car over there. The guy stopped. He jumped out. One guy went in the back of the alley there. 2233 Keeler. He dumped the gun behind the staircase and he ran into the house. 2 other guys walked towards Pulaski or ran towards Pulaski from here. They got 1 in custody. I don't know if they got the other 2. That's where I'm going to go check right now. That's the stolen car right there, right? That's it right there. Oh, there you go. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I know there's a police station in Ogden. There you go. We're going to go check it out because they might be... I mean, I showed you the stolen car. Everybody's seen the stolen car, right? There you go, right? I already did, man. See you later, man. You're late to the program, bro. See you later. You're late to the program. You're late to the program. You can go backwards in time, man. We were already by that car. We're gonna go see if they arrested these guys over here, right? You're late to the program, man. This ain't a pay-per-view, man. We don't do that. So we're gonna go see, because there was 2 guys they were looking for over here. I think we were at a bar up there where they were taped off. Way over there by Sacramento. That's where they heard the shooting. So they were running up and down, up back and forth here. And that's where they ended up. So they're still looking for 2 guys on foot, maybe somewhere over here. I don't know where they're at. Yeah, don't worry about it, Nick. Nick, you don't need to say that, brother. We're cool, man. We're cool, my brother. I can handle myself. I'm a big boy, man. Thank you for helping me, though, my brother. So, these guys, sounds like they were shooting at those guys on Sacramento. You know where I'm talking about. That's where little Homicide was shooting. Everybody knows a little Homicide, right? Little Homicide, Adam Toledo. You know Adam Toledo, but he was on the ground shooting at cars. This was a car shooting it towards the ground, towards people. Yep. Right over here, I'll show you this. We'll see. We're gonna see if they're around here. They might have caught somebody. I might have to go backwards in time, man. Let's see what we got here.
Frequency mode.
Let's see what the police radio is saying, right? Let's see. Let's see if we see any police activity. I know I seen 2 guys walking over there. Well, maybe go to the original crime scene on Sacramento and see if they got anything going on there, right? There's a lot of migrants out here, man. A lot of migrants. Most of these guys are already settled in. Most of the migrants that I think are left in Chicago, they're working and they got their visas or something like that. My phone is all checked up here, man. My older holder is checked up. There's a cop car behind me right now with its lights on. We're gonna go to the crime scene. And there's a cop car with its blue lights behind me right now. 2 cars behind me. They were taking them back to the police station, I think, right over here. There's a bunch of cops behind me. Police station's right here. Hey, is the police station here or in back of us? Yeah, it's up here, isn't it? Radio is quiet. It's funny how a certain group of people like to insult me, and I don't know and I don't care. I got a little thick skin. But when another dude talks about stuff, you don't insult that guy, right? It's weird. It must be some kind of a reciprocal relationship, right? Where that guy don't call you guys criminals, right? You guys, whoever's watching me, that's a criminal. You know who you are. And I never knew that, because when I grew up, the guys who were gang banging and who were criminals, they could care less if you called them a criminal. They actually liked it. So I don't know why now criminals and gangs and rappers and whatever the hell you want to call them, right? Those are the guys that were in back of me, right? Why you all worried about what people call you? There's the car right there, right? That's the car right there. That's the car right there, man. That's the car. They just brought it back to the station. See that there? That black Honda right there. That's the stolen car. That's the car they were shooting out of. Got that? They might have a perp walk here, and let's take a look. I doubt it, though. I think they already brought the guy into the station. But we can go over here and we can wait. No, they're gonna take the prisoner in. That's the stolen car right there. See that there? There you go. There you go, man.
Alright, for upper it's gonna be 13310. Lower is 13311.
So that's the stolen car, and they already brought the guy into custody. One, again, I said 2 are missing, right? They're looking for 2 other ones. We're gonna go over here and see if there's a crime scene. Oh, there's another cop just going down Kedzie over there, I think. That is the police station, right? So they've just brought that car in over here, right?
Father, you bus policeman number station and platform 79 the red line.
Alright, for upper it's going to be 13310. Lower is 13311.
10-4, thank you.
You're welcome.
So if the address of their first shooting was California, they were shooting at the gangs over here, because there's a gang in the middle over here. That was years ago when I first started doing this. There was a shooting over here. I don't know what happened. That was around Cinco de Mayo.
Adam is boy. 321 Adam.
And number please for 63rd in the red line, upper and lower.
Alright, upper is 13331 and lower is 13332.
So years ago when I started doing the crime chasing, there was a shooting over here. I think they killed somebody over by 26 in California in those projects over there. And I believe it was around Cinco de Mayo. I think it was related to Cinco de Mayo. I don't know, but I think it was cold, so it couldn't have been Cinco de Mayo. I don't know what happened. A bunch of guys shot each other. In like 1 week, 3 or 4 people were shot back and forth. There was killing of each other, right? I don't know if it was the SDs or the Maniac Disciples or if it was the Kings or it was 2-6. I don't know which one it was. Because I don't know who's here. It's all mixed here. There's SDs, MDs, 2-6, and Kings back here, right? There's all 4 are mixed into this area here, I believe. I don't know. I might be wrong. And I know there was 2 or 3 people shot back and forth, boyfriend, girlfriend. This guy got shot. This guy got shot. And then I heard, there you go. There's the police over there. They're probably guarding the scene. That's where we're going to right now. And I got this on video. I have to dig it up. It's already 3 to 4 years old. And it was on the radio that they were banging and they put the garbage cans and blocked the whole neighborhood off. And they were shooting and all this stuff. And yelling gang signs. So I came over here. And there was a bunch of cops there. And I pull up. They put their shining lights on me. And they said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm media, man. I'm blah, 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 right? And they said, yeah, we wouldn't go back over there, man. I said, why? Because I think they were grieving. They were grieving a guy dead or a woman dead. I think it might have been a female dead or a male dead. I don't remember which one it was. I gotta look up the videos, right? And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, that's pretty dangerous over there. I think it was right here on Sacramento, right over here. And I said, well, ain't you gonna do something about that? And the cop said, yeah, we are. And this is what the cops told me. And this is, I'm not putting these cops down. They were honest with me, right? I don't like it when cops are dishonest. They were very honest with me. He goes, we are doing something. We're not getting involved. Right? So there you go. There's a cop with an ambulance. That means there's either a victim. We just got something. I think this is, what is this? Mount Sinai over here? So there's an ambulance with a victim in it. You see that there? This is Sacramento, right? Isn't it? Is this Sacramento or is this Kedzie? Who knows what street this is? I think this is Sacramento. Kedzie's in back of me, isn't it? Yeah. And this is what? Douglas Park, isn't it? There you go. There's an ambulance there, right? So if Spot News was around, he would tell you, oh man, there's 2 ambulances just pulled up. See that there? 2 ambulances pulled up with 2 victims from some other place. So we might have a double shooting somewhere. See that? Look. So we have ambulance 15 that just showed up. That was on the west side yesterday that pulled in Buck, right? That's his nickname, Buck. He was shot over at Ferdinand and Laverne. That was ambulance 15, so that can be coming from over there. And then it was just a shooting over here, right? Again, I'm not affiliated with the cops, and I ain't affiliated with gangs. All I know is what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've read, right? What I follow, right? There you go, man. SubX.News, on the spot reporting here, right? So you got two ambulances that just pulled up over here, right? Is this Mount Sinai or what is this? I don't know what hospital is. This St. Anthony's. Is St. Anthony's or Mount Sinai? I have no idea. This is Mount Sinai, right? St. Anthony's is down the road, right? SubX.News. We're at 16th and Washington. It's 10:30 p.m. It's April 28th, 2026. We want to just show you this. See this here? Look. See that there? See those potholes? Look. See those deep potholes? See that there? Look. It's everywhere in our city. See that there? This isn't one season. This is mismanagement and lack of maintenance of our city and our streets. We paid for this to be fixed every year with our taxes, with gasoline tax, gasoline fees, and all kinds of other knickknacks that they add on. We don't even know about half the stuff they charge us for. Look at this. It's a regular street. People live here, right? Whatever. People live here, right? This is a normal street. Look at that. That's what it looks like. Look at those holes. See that there? Oh man, it's out of focus there. There, we'll get it in focus there. How about that? Look at that. Look at that. Look how deep that is. That's something wrong with the asphalt. It has nothing to do with the winter. Don't you think that's something to do with the asphalt? That bad? Look at that. It's everywhere in our city. Why don't we investigate who did this job and have them replace it for free, the whole street? You can't be patching this stuff up. That's not a patch job. Look at that. That looks like a war zone, don't it? Look at that. Look at that there. See that there? SubX.News.